800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-353-9057, 800-353-9057, or biglou.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Kale and Company, weekday mornings, 6 till 10.
The biggest question, which makes me wonder if in fact it was a coordinated inside job, as Chompy Blobber, or whatever his name says.
Sloppy Chris Christie.
Sitting in his basement, typing mean tweets. Shut up. As you guys know, I get a lot of emails and tweets, text messages from people saying, are there people controlling your narrative? Nobody controls our narrative here. Let me say that at 7:50 in the morning on Morning Drive, when I know tons of people are tuning in. Nobody will ever control the narrative on this radio station, except for the people that have talk shows here. Yeah. The end.
Start your day with Kale and Company, weekday mornings 6 till 10 on Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and the free Odyssey app. On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it's the end of the week. Let's add up all the things that the media, including even Dan, somebody who's conservative writing for the Inquirer, is telling us.
Wait.
We can't.
That's an oxymoron.
Well, she is, I think. She may call in, she hears this. I don't want to scuffle on Friday, but
she's a great person.
Jennifer Stefano. All the things. I have this score sheet here. I need more pages that we cannot bring up about somebody who's never had anything brought up against her because she's done the inside line with a powerful guy in the beginning and then just never has had to run against anybody. She's been in California, was DEI'd into the VP race, not running against anybody, as a deal with Joe Biden. And now it continues since she's running for president. The list is long of the things you can't bring up about Kamala Harris. Now, I'm going to have to be very gentle and speak in vague terms about this. I'll give you something that's out of bounds because it's a loser, in addition to I think it goes too far. There is, it's calmed down a little bit. I wouldn't call her an influencer. There might be other names for her, whose main claim to fame is what she does with men. Some guy on Fox yesterday said that that's Kamala Harris, the original blank, okay? That's out of bounds. Strategically, Dan, you can Google it. You'll see it on Fox. Think of the word H-A-W-K, okay? And you'll see he calls her that. That's ridiculous.
Oh!
Yeah.
The meme?
Just Google it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's ridiculous. That goes too far. Plus, also, it's a loser. But they want us again. And they feel they can do the dirty work on the policies. She had nothing to do with anything. You have people writing, well, how was she a czar? She never wore a crown. They're saying goofy stuff like this. She was a border czar. How many different ways do we have to show it? We'll continue to show that because they're going to continue to be relentless.
She was not the border czar.
Saying she wasn't the border czar.
Not the border czar.
Now, this idea of she's never had a child, I think has to be very delicate. I think people are going to get upset if said in a wild kind of way, and some people have done that. But I'm looking at three of the women columnists, including Jennifer Stefano at the Enquirer, and they lay out this whole thing. We can't talk about being a DEI hire. We can't talk about Willie Brown, who was 29 years older than her and married when they had an affair. Now, he was estranged from his wife, no doubt. But he's the one that propelled her forward with really powerful friends. Several articles out today talk about how suspicious it was that she looked the other way with a lot of those friends when she was a DA on various issues that were very friendly with Willie Brown. You know, people don't want to go back, except when it comes to President Trump. So the counter, they're saying, well, Trump has 5 kids with 3 mamas. That's Anna Navarro today and a bunch of other people. Look, we've already litigated this with Trump. Evangelicals and everybody else, they've already been quizzed to death. We know all that. All I can tell you is I was on with Walter Sterling last night, Dan. He made a good point. We were talking about his 12-year-old daughter giving toilet recommendations if something breaks.
Whoa.
Dad,
where would that conversation
Dad,
come from?
No, from my issue this week, we had a broken toilet for a little bit. Dad, you better get a guy. And he said, you judge somebody by how their kids turn out.
Yeah.
And then I cited particularly, all right, if you don't want to, because Don Jr. is very aggressive politically and all that, how do you savage Eric Trump in the manner that, come on, give me a break. How do you savage him constantly?
Well, he's kind of like, the redheaded stepchild of the family.
Well, but I mean, savaging him in the manner that they do. I think Trump's kids, it's not phony. They love him. They're connected to him. There is no doubt. So that's a guidepost. But that's right. Trump's got baggage. We can't talk about the baggage of Kamala Harris. Now, I would caution to be very cautious about it. If I had been the host yesterday, Dan, on Fox with that guy saying that, I would have immediately gone after him. I'll tell you why I would have gone after him. I don't know if you have that. I'm not going to play it. I would have gone after him because it's dumb. It's just provocative and dumb. And the media is going to seize on this. But there is no doubt that Kamala Harris is being held up as a female icon. And part of her path to get where she was, well, 2 parts of it, were the association with Willie Brown and then the DEI part that she has fulfilled. I mean, those things are not in doubt. And then there are the policies, which we'll spend more time talking about. Yes.
Well, I mean, we had a media here that, I don't know how long ago it was now, but the second that Stormy Daniels revealed how Donald Trump's penis looked, they were reporting all over the place saying it looked like a Mario character.
Or the silk pajamas that he was in.
The double standard is ridiculous.
Yeah, the double standard. You're not allowed. She has ridden this wave second to none. And the Willie Brown stuff is in fair play because it was political. It wasn't like he was just a sugar daddy, a corporate guy or something. He was the most powerful guy in California, one of the most powerful in the country among liberal politicians. All right, so that's one part. Now, out of the blue, Jim Cramer. Well, I met a couple times, Dan. I had good conversation with him, but he's kind of wacky. Jim Cramer makes a great point. He thinks for her. I think a point against her. He just came out, and Market Watch says, man, this is a big endorsement. What, Jim Cramer's a big endorsement? Jim Cramer just endorsed an hour or so ago Kamala Harris, saying she's much better with the tech titans and with Silicon Valley. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that she is. This is where the Democrat Party lives now. The elites, the coast, big money, who are very woke and very liberal. Does Donald Trump want to be branded, connected with them? No, I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think that's a good place to be. But Jim Cramer, Market Watch, and these others, this is a huge, huge endorsement. Here's the real Kamala Harris, though. This is cut 11. Here is Kamala Harris in 2020, June 2020. She hadn't dropped out yet from the presidential primary on the Democrat side, praising the defund the police movement.
Where do you stand on defund the police?
Look, right. So here's the thing. Defund the police. The issue behind it is that we need to reimagine how we are creating safety. And when you have many cities that have 1/3 of their entire city budget focused on policing, we know that is not the smart way and the best way or the right way to achieve safety. If for too long, the status quo thinking has been you get more safety by putting more cops on the street. Well, that's wrong.
Yeah, and then we have other parts of that where she went on to say, you go to the upscale suburban areas, they're not having more cops. They have well-funded schools. They have all this other stuff. Really? So let's have fewer cops in Philadelphia. Let's throw even more money into the Philadelphia public schools, and you're not going to have as much crime. You're not going to have as many criminals. She is this. She bailed out people who ultimately murdered other people at the height of the George Floyd summer in Minnesota. They still have a lot of resentment toward her from that. This is all part of the record. But with Harris, very difficult to breach the one that they know is deadly to her chances. The borders are arena. So we played you yesterday like a ping pong thing, what the mainstream media said then, because they wanted to tout that as she's a big deal. She's in charge of solving the biggest crisis for Biden, the border. Now that it's turned how bad the border is for Democrats and always has been, they want to tell you all she was doing was meeting in Guatemala and places like that. And what they were doing there is trying to figure out how to keep more people in country rather than coming to the border. But the guy I want to open up on in a moment today is this Bashir guy in Kentucky. He surfaced again. We talked about him the other day. We have more sound. We'll play it in a moment. Gone after and trying to tear down Ohio Senator and now VP choice, J.D. Vance. And how are they trying to tear him down? They're trying to say he's not authentic. His suffering, hillbilly elegy, and all that, they don't matter. So Dan gave me a good analogy, I think. He's better than this. Ro and I will be going down the shore this week. I'll be broadcasting from there.
Yeah.
Shoebies.
Yeah.
Well, shoebies are gone for the day, but, we're kind of shoebies.
Well, even if you go for a week, you're a shoebie.
Well, not really.
Yeah, you are.
We're supporting the local economy. What the hell would they do without us?
Yeah, but
that's not a shoebie.
Well,
now, you can carry it too far. You don't have the same say as somebody with sand in their shoes.
Yeah.
That's lived there. But you're trying to do that, too. You didn't live at the Jersey Shore, really. You were inland. Wait a minute, you were inland.
I have shore running through me, Dom. I lived down there. I worked in the service industry down the shore. I know what the people are like.
Wait a minute.
I
You
have a
didn't live in
great
Atlantic
pulse,
City.
and I feel related to, I feel my heart is in Atlantic City.
More than I, but, you didn't live in Atlantic City.
Well, my heart's in Philadelphia. But
You lived in inland. You were an inlander.
I was Egg Harbor Township.
That's inland.
Yeah.
That's not the shore.
Yeah, well, it's still Atlantic City area, the shore.
It's the area you're stretching it. All right.
Well, come on. If you ask anybody, so I think it's appropriate, though, for a Philadelphian, if he goes out to Indiana, right?
Right.
Say he's a, laid-back kind of individual, the surfer type maybe, to have some, Jersey Shore pulsing through him, even if he's from Philadelphia. But the fact that he spent his summers at the Jersey Shore, I think it's fair to say that he has some Jersey Shore in him, right?
Yes, well, this guy not only had the family roots, so I think part of the time, I think he was born in the hill country. They then moved because of the lack of jobs. And every summer, he would go back for the entire summer, I think for 10 or 15 years of that, Dan. So, yeah, J.D. Vance knows Kentucky, wants to be buried for some reason in Kentucky.
I've been buried down the shore.
Oh, okay. Oh,
but the thing is, though, if you were to ask somebody who spent their entire life living in Atlantic City or Ocean City, I know a lot of guys who are, those kind of guys that live there. And every summer when these Philadelphians and New Yorkers come into town, or these, Canadians from Montreal wearing their Speedos, they're shoebies. And they don't know what the real, idea what it's like to live down the shore. So I think if you ask some people down there, they might tell you the same thing that Bashir's saying here, that you can't claim you're from the shore. You never lived here. You didn't live here that long. I spent my entire life here. I was born here.
Yeah, you were born to the manor is the problem. So we'll play him again here. And I despise this guy. He's a worm. He really is trying to worm his way in as the attack dog for Kamala Harris, even though it's doubtful that he's on the VP list. The point I would make is the family was headquartered there. When they went to Lordstown, Ohio, they were exhibiting the same cultural things they would do in the hill country of Tennessee. There weren't mountains there, but they were still in their minds hillbillies. I mean, that's the whole thing, Dan. Massive numbers of hillbillies went there. So it's like massive numbers of people from Atlantic City, the Jersey Shore, moved 50 miles, and they kept the same culture.
Would it be better if he called himself a redneck? Is that the demeaning? Is that a bad term?
More, yeah, I think that's worse.
Worse than hillbilly?
Yeah.
I mean, hillbilly's a pretty bad term, too, no?
Yeah, I think redneck is worse. Yeah, and they get on him. That means racist, too, I guess. But his code name is out now. His code name is Bobcat. Because of the team in Kentucky, we're called the Bobcats. He's a football fan, and there's another Bobcat or something. So J.D. Vance is Bobcat, or Bobcats.
Henry just told me that hillbillies are north of the Mason-Dixon line, and rednecks are south of the Mason-Dixon line. That comes from a guy with a mullet, so I think he knows what he's talking about.
That's a definite hillbilly stance there. Yes, hillbillydom. All right, so we'll play you Bashir coming up. This is Volley 2. Gone after Vance on this. But with Harris, why is all this stuff out of bounds? Now, I'm not saying it's smart in the manner that some people are bringing it up, like the guy on Fox that said this regrettable stuff. I would have gone after him right there. The woman should have gone after him. They shouldn't have just laughed, shrugged her, oh, man. They should have gone after him and saying, essentially, are you nuts? This is exactly what they want. Now everybody's going to be tarred because of the way you're approaching Harris. It's a fair thing to look at her affair for years with Willie Brown and the results of that.
Don't give them evidence for their claims.
But you have to do this carefully. You can't just be, you think you're funny and over the top, taking a cultural reference now that's regrettable, this woman, and making that into Vice President Harris. All right, let me give you the side question, and then I'll play you the Bashir thing. We got Jeff Van Drew stopping by. By the way, our old buddy will play you a little bit of, if you've not heard, it's why we have such a fondness for Hank Johnson. Hank Johnson, the congressman from Texas.
Yeah, my fear is that the whole island will become so overly populated that it will tip over and capsize.
My favorite congressman.
Yeah, that's the all-time. Now, he's got other stylings. This guy could do a stand-up act, but he was talking to Christopher Wray about various things in the FBI, and you know what he brought up? Hank Johnson, all-time moronic congressman, brings up Project 2025. Oh, even Hank Johnson's heard of 2025. Jeff Van Drew will be here. He also grilled Christopher Wray. 1:30, Jeff Van Drew. What did he ask the FBI director about? Here's the side question today, though. And I may not have a dog in this fight because, you know, I started Googling this when Dan suggested it. I think yesterday, we almost did it yesterday, so yesterday was Chili Hot Dog Day, meaning foods that you don't think would go together. I mean, I see avocados and chocolate on this list.
Oh, really?
I am not a fan of the avocado.
You know one thing that's big, like CVS has a bunch of them, like these fancy chocolates with like hot chili flakes in them.
Oh, God.
Like spicy chocolate.
I don't
Gives
know
me heartburn.
why you want to fool. It's approaching, and I saw a passionate defense of pineapple on pizzas in this list. Of course, that's what they're going to go with.
So we're looking for underrated ones, though.
Underrated ones.
Weird food combinations that actually do taste good, that you're a fan of, but they're weird combinations.
Yeah.
That you wouldn't expect them to be good.
How about yours?
Avocado on toast.
Well, that's not weird.
Yeah, it's not too weird. I just wanted to anger some people that hate avocados. I'm looking right at one.
Well, I would love the health benefits of it. It tastes pretty good. But I'm not sitting around saying, is it ready? Bro, do you think that avocado is ready now? Well, let's test it some. Nope, not ready yet. Then 30 minutes later, we come back. Nope, it's done. It's mushy.
All right, I'm going to take some time to throw some shots at friends. My friend Justin, he puts ketchup on pizza. Loves it. He forces it upon his friends, says, you got to try it. Everyone tries it, says it's terrible, but he loves it. It says the vinegar combined with the tomato on top of the pizza, and allegedly other people do it too. You ever think about trying it, Dom?
No, I do not do anything with pizza other than eat it. I mean, that's it. It's not pizza if you're going anything foreign to it. That's it. It's regrettable.
Got to throw shots at the wife, too, Maisie.
Okay.
Some strange eating habits on her part, but one that is something that actually transferred to me because I doubted it at first, then I tried it. Mayonnaise on a cheesesteak.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
There is no hope. Now, I put mustard on with the tuna, that kind of thing. I'll do that. Yeah, I put mustard on a lot of things. On the bread.
Mustard on your cheesesteak?
I don't eat a cheesesteak, so it's not.
Okay.
I can't.
Wait, but
on that.
what are you putting mustard on then?
On the breads. Tuna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, mustard and tuna works.
Yeah,
I was
exactly.
thinking, like, what vegetable does it work with, though? Mustard doesn't really work with vegetables.
I think mustard's almost great with it. Right kind of mustard.
No, it's not. Name one vegetable that you dip in mustard.
I would dip some, let's see. Asparagus.
Mustard's not a good condiment.
I would dip asparagus.
It's an overrated
in mustard.
condiment.
I would put asparagus in there.
Ugh.
All right, I see Henry is.
Are you eating raw asparagus?
Yeah, I love asparagus. So I could go for it right now. I see Henry's back from styling his mullet to opine, giving us the hillbilly Mason-Dixon line. So, Henry, what's your food?
Oh, I would have to say a milkshake and fries.
Ooh.
That was way up on the list. And you know what? That seems very natural to me. I mean, I don't think that's weird. It's good. Yeah. What's weird about it?
I will say the mayo on a cheesesteak's a little weird.
But that's
how
weird.
Kobe used to get it.
Oh.
You go down to Larry Steaks. He gets it the Kobe Bryant way. It's fried onions, mayo, salt, and pepper.
It's Maisie's way, too.
Uh-oh. All right, maybe the Borowskis
Two
will have
legends together, Kobe Bryant and Maisie.
A basketball star someday.
Means Maisie can beat Caitlin Clark in a game of basketball, right?
That's right, exactly.
Yeah, she's vibe with Kobe.
Henry, how do you rein in with a mullet? J.D. Vance lived there, moved, and then goes back every summer for all 3 months.
Can he claim himself as a hillbilly?
Ooh.
Well, he's in Lordstown, Ohio, with a bunch of hillbillies with opiates and all. I mean, what do you have to do to get a hillbilly credential?
I guess, once a hillbilly, always a hillbilly,
There you
right?
go.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love how you split the difference there. Yeah.
Do you self-identify as a hillbilly?
Well, I self-identify with South.
Well, not you. I'm talking about Henry. I know you don't.
Well, wait a minute.
Where do you think I live?
Well, you had the mullet for a little bit.
That's right. Dan,
so that automatically qualifies me now?
Am I out of South Philly now? Can you ever take me out of South Philly?
No, you're forever South Philly.
All right, there you go.
Like, even if you move to Iowa.
Right.
There's still South Philly Dom.
There you go. Exactly. And I haven't been in South Philly in like 30 years.
Running the Boise, Idaho mob over here.
All right. Thank you, Henry. And hillbilly distinction, I think, is a pretty good one.
Thank you. I don't know where I got that fact from, but it's in my mind.
Thank you. All right. Phone lines are 855-839-1210. Coming up, this is way ahead of the curve, but in Georgia, we have another battle. Remember the AP course, the advanced credit, advanced placement? Remember all that stuff? And remember how they put in the African-American studies, advanced placement? And Ron DeSantis, brilliant logic, stopped them in their tracks. Remember how they tried to go after him here in Philadelphia, calling him all kinds of things? Well, it's happening in Georgia. Again, the same thing. And it's starting to wedge its way into the race with you-know-who, Kamala Harris. I'll give you the details on that. You get in at 855-839-1210.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
I am a father.
I am a mentor.
I am a wife.
I am an artist.
I am a husband.
I am a friend.
I am a sports fan.
I am your neighbor.
I am a member of your church.
I am.
I am.
I am.
I am a police officer.
Support your local law enforcement officials. Sponsored by the Pennsylvania Fraternal Order of Police. Visit partnersinpublicsafety.com.
Now that it's sizzling out, is your AC fizzling out? Beat the heat with Horizon Services. Upgrade that old unit for 0 down and 0% interest and get up to a 12-year warranty on a new HVAC system. Plus, save up to $3,500 in free upgrades and rebates when you schedule your free estimate. Same-day service, expert technicians, and a job done right the first time. Need service today? Visit horizonservices.com and Horizon is on the way.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering to qualified buyers a maximum discount of $13,176. This offer is good on all 2024 XC90s in stock. $13,176. Plus, the Cherry Hill Volvo 2024 model year sell down. Pricing and attention to detail here is not to be missed. Volvo should be on your shopping list now. This is the time to purchase from Cherry Hill Volvo.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Calling on Blackwood to follow 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. Get your name in the hat today. Side question, National Chili Hot Dog Day. So hit us with those underrated food combinations, meaning it's really good.
But weird.
But people wouldn't know that in the beginning.
Like this person on Twitter, Jane, who says peanut butter on a BLT, mayo on one side, peanut butter on the other. What is with this peanut butter craze?
I said that. It's not horrible on most stuff, but I don't know that it adds a lot. All right. Let me, throughout the show, update you on this because I think it's going to be one of those things that starts to blow up. What's happened in Georgia, swing state, in the last couple of days, their superintendent of schools said that it's on a case-by-case basis. School districts can receive state funding for advanced placement class in African American studies. He had opted originally not to recommend the course for state approval. Now he's making it a kind of a local thing. All right? He objects to it. And the governor, who's the ultimate rhino, Kemp, went after him. Then, of course, all kinds of Congress people. And here we go again. So why is it that Florida rejected this? Because it's going to make its way into Kamala Harris, ultimately, all this stuff, with the American Federation of Teachers yesterday. She said they want us to strap on guns in a classroom, but they want to ban books. The same tired nonsense, right? Well, DeSantis objected to the fact, rightfully so, that the AP course, and remember when he came here to Philadelphia, the protests, the mobs, the whole thing, that the AP course was indoctrination. It was critical race theory. It neglected to show, and this is what the test, here's the test. If you have a history curriculum, as every high school in America does, the goal ought to be to show what happened, but to show the evolution of America. And at the end of that, a student should not come out of there, certainly today, believing that America is a racist country. Oh, man, Netanyahu and Trump just did the bro hug at Mar-a-Lago.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the bro hug.
I have soccer on my screen for some weird reason.
Oh, man. There'll be footage of, here comes again. Here comes the footage coming up, the golden. The steps weren't golden, but there was a lot of gold around there.
What channel are you on over there?
Of Fox.
It's on Fox.
Of Trump meeting him at his estates there. So
mine's not changing.
Watch for this. Georgia, again, swing state, much in the news, just starting to bubble up, and they're going back and forth over this. Why do we need an advanced placement in African American studies? And the answer is you don't. And it is now in, well, have to do more research, but hundreds, if not thousands, of schools this coming school year. that'll be the case. And the problem DeSantis showed in Florida is they were not whitewashing anything. They had a notorious massacre in their curriculum. By law, you had to teach certain things. They weren't avoiding the ugly history of racism, Jim Crow, and the like. And it gets its way into presidential politics. No one's saying to ignore that, to downplay it. But Kamala Harris and any number of people in the progressive wing of the Democrat Party would make you believe that's America today to a degree. They would make you believe all we're trying to do is cover it up. They would make you believe there's no such thing as critical race theory in schools. They would make you believe that diversity, equity, inclusion are just something that's going to help everybody along versus oppressor and oppressed. That's the base of it. That's what she's about. That's how she got to where she is, and that's what she wants to ride to the presidency. So look, she's vulnerable on her radicalism, on any number of issues. But she's not vulnerable at firing wildly, like this guy I told you about yesterday on Fox News. They should have shut that down right away and made the point. Come on now. You know, nobody's implying that. We're talking the Vice President of the United States, et cetera. So it's a lot of fronts to prosecute here, but you have to have care in doing it. You can't just go off half-cocked with this stuff. And if that's what you want to do and say, well, you're going to lose, or you're going to aid and abet her to coming closer. Let me put it that way. Same thing, you see the problems with the never the border czar. This is doable, but you really have to commit to it day to day, methodically, to refute her and to take her out on this. She was the border czar. She was in charge of a lot more, and they touted it, than just going to Guatemala. Now, the fact that she didn't go to the border was her choice because she didn't want to see it. We've been through this. Biden did not say, I'm giving her a portfolio. This is an extremely important and vast job. We're going to be sending her to Guatemala to give them $50 billion so they'll keep people at home. No, he did not. He gave all the deference in the world. This is something major. This is a big issue. She's my right arm on this. I'm putting her out there to be the day-to-day on this. That's exactly what was talked about. And the media covered it then. Now they're going back down the memory hole and getting rid of what they said. They were right then. Well, we weren't right then. Well, what is it that you were not right about then? Why are you right now? What's changed? Why do we have hundreds of different titlings of border czar? Well, there's no such thing as a czar. Hey, let's talk English. We know that. We know it's not an exact title. People are called that all the time. The drug czar, the border czar, the blank. Because they're in charge of something big here. Not just a long-term strategy to go to the triangle countries and figure out what you have to give them to try to keep people at home. It was much more than that. And I know it's maddening. I know people get upset. We want layups. And I get it. It ought to be a layup. She was the border czar. But you know what? When you win, you're going to put in the work. And the work means methodically, disciplined. Go after her on this constantly. Be ready with every dodge they'll use. Call them out. Go after them. Shouldn't have to be that way because this is more than media bias. This is almost Soviet style of erasure of stuff. That's even bigger. All right, so 855-839-1210. Coming up, your calls. And I want to play you this governor of Kentucky, new comments from him about J.D. Vance. Again, it's another one of their ticks. They are not going to let you be an American success story. J.D. Vance hasn't centered in on the hills of Kentucky. He's talked about the broader experience of Appalachia, of the mindset of people in hillbilly elegy. A lot of it is set where they moved. And yet the mother still exhibited the same behaviors, the grandmother, the sort of grandfather. They all exhibited the same kind of behaviors, maybe toned down a little bit than in eastern Kentucky. That was one of his points. And that's why he started the campaign the other day in Lordstown, Ohio, where the big plan is. That's where they went. How could you, be drilling down and trying to rob him of that? Did this guy Bashir suffer the pain that he did? No, they want to take that away. Big deal. We don't care about that. They want to undermine American success. And the way to do that is to say he's not really what you think of when you think of hill people, hillbillies. All right, phone lines.
So on Twitter, Dom.
Yes.
Marcus Aurelius, one of our great tweeters, says you can no longer identify as a South Philadelphian. He says you need to be calling yourself a Chestnut Hillbilly. Thing is, though, you're not from Chestnut Hill now. It's Germantown, right? So I think you need to be called a Philadelphia Dutch.
A Germantonian.
Yeah, that works, Germantonian, but I like the Philadelphia Dutch.
A Philadelphia Dutch. So I have to turn in the South Philly card. It's expired.
Yep, you're Philadelphia Dutch now.
Judge Bashir will be coming at me. Well, let's talk about what his father. I'll give you that. This guy, I give him credit. In politics, to be shameless is the ticket. That's the gold. This guy's to the manner born, everything given to him. And he is going to rob from J.D. Vance something that gets Americans fired up, somebody who went through that pain, misery, came out the other side a huge success. They're rats. They really are rats. That's what this guy is. At least somebody who tries to take that away that lived it or something. Even that's bad, but okay.
I'm not a big fan of the rat.
Thank you, Johnny Doc. Another South Philly guy. I don't count that as really South Philly. Down near 2 Street. Yeah, it's South Philly. Come on, that's South Philly, too. All right, it's the Irish South Philly.
Dutch isn't German, it's a different language.
A different language. Yeah, so you got to think Germantonians, German. We're German now. Yeah,
you're German. But yeah.
All right, 855-83. Not taking South Philly away. Come on, Bashir. Come here and take South Philly away.
A couple other weird food combinations from friends: cream cheese and pretzels. You ever try that one?
It doesn't sound bad.
No.
It doesn't sound like it's objectionable, like it wouldn't mix in the beginning. That's what I'd be looking at.
How about pickles with cream cheese on a bagel?
Not horrible. No, it's not something that makes me, but I don't know why you would do that. I guess there's a reason.
You ever have lox?
No, stuff like that. As soon as you get into the heaviness of foods, the heavy thing, I just know there's going to be a bad consequence.
These lox and cream cheese is a really weird combo if you think about it, but it's delicious.
It's too heavy. All right, so it's 855-839-1210. You get in right now. And where you're from. How do you determine that? Who is it that determines? Well, Bashir is saying he determines whether or not you actually are the real deal. And how in the world would this guy, born in a multi-millionaire status law firm, the father's the governor, makes him the governor, would he be able to claim, I'm a true Kentuckian? Yeah, we know you're not. All right, get ready for a gift from Rescue Natural Supplements. It's their Christmas in July sale. That's right, the season of giving is making a summer comeback with huge savings. That means all health supplements will be slashed up to 50, 60, even 70% off site-wide. Treat yourself with savings on heart-healthy omega-3s, pain-relieving anti-inflammatories, natural immunity boosters, and a lot more. To order, call 800-26-ALIVE, 800-262-5483. Speak to a rescue product consultant, or you can shop online at res-q.com, res-q.com. Again, don't miss Rescue's Christmas in July sale. You shop savings up to 70% off all natural solutions for your highs and lows, from high blood pressure or cholesterol to low energy or testosterone. Rescue's got you covered. Hurry on over. Unwrap the joy of a healthier you at res-q.com. Do it today.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, VH1, TLC, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR, so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-246-0553. 800-246-0553. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-246-0553.
This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. You may know me from my book, Money Hacks. You may know me from my radio shows, and you may even know me from some of these commercials. But listen, I'm teaching stuff that people need to learn about money. In fact, my favorite topic is money. So go to investorschooling.com and you will learn things about money that you never even knew existed. We will teach you things about real estate, about the stock market, and about how to use your IRAs properly. Go to investorschooling.com and sign up for a complimentary class this Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinitz with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
See Joe Conklin's comedy show at Archbishop Wood High School in Warminster, PA, Saturday, September 28th. For tickets, go to joeconklin.com.
JoeConklin.com! Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, broadcasting from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter.
Okay, Dom Giordano show. I'll get to this Bashir guy who, I see it as part of this governor of Kentucky who's trying to make his way onto the VP list. It's just what the left is able to do because there's no defense by the media. But you try to untangle, say, the path of Kamala Harris with Willie Brown, and you're in big trouble. But they're all on board with this. J.D. Vance is not really legit. He's slurring the people, the hillbillies. But first, I wanted to play you what Vance said, that I get what the big picture is with it, but again, the strategy on this, I don't think is a winning strategy. And remember, we're dedicated to one thing here, not just being provocative, not just making a point about the left. True. Does it work, though? Is it a winning strategy that people beyond just base of conservatism are going to say, yeah, I see what you're saying there. I don't know. I fully agree. Are they going to be repelled by it? All right. You know that he made comments at Kamala Harris types because of no children are like cat ladies. Here's part two. He's doubling down on it.
I know the media wants to attack me and wants me to back down on this, Megan, but the simple point that I made is that having children, becoming a father, becoming a mother, I really do think it changes your perspective in a pretty profound way. This is something, of course, we've recognized for hundreds of years in this country, that human civilization has always recognized. But there's a deeper point here, Megan. It's not a criticism of people who don't have children. I explicitly said in my remarks, despite the fact the media has lied about this, that this is not about criticizing people who, for various reasons, didn't have kids. This is about criticizing the Democratic Party for becoming anti-family and anti-child. We have to ask ourselves, Megan, why do we have masking of toddlers years after the pandemic ended? Why do we have the Harris campaign coming out this very morning, Megan, and saying that we should not have the child tax credit, which lowers tax rates for parents of young children? It's because they have become anti-family and anti-kid. And I'm proud to stand up for parents, and I hope that parents out there recognize that I'm a guy who wants to fight for you. I want to fight for your interests. I want to fight for your stake in the country, and that is what this is fundamentally about. The Democrats in the past 5-10 years, Megan, they have become anti-family. It's built into their policy. It's built into the way they talk about parents and children, and it's time that we called that out. I don't think we should back down from it, Megan. I think we should be honest about the problem.
All right.
Here's what's crazy.
Dan, maybe, is there more? I'm sorry.
There is, but I think.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. Keep that cut, though. Look, I get it being provocative. That's what we do, too. But I'm not running for VP here. The cat lady comment, I get it. See if you can pull, Dan, because I didn't see it. I guess that was yesterday that he did this, right, with Megyn Kelly. It wouldn't be today. She's not on yet, I think. Or was it?
So this is, I think this, so the way this is released is J.D. Vance addresses cat lady's comment and calls out anti-family Democrats. Interview airs on Sirius Channel 111, all platforms after. So it was at noon today is when they aired it. So they must have done it right before.
Oh, it's today. All right. So we didn't see this, but this morning, in a policy way, and that's what I want to explore here, Megyn Kelly, or Vance saying on Megyn Kelly, they came out against the child tax credit. Now, Trump and J.D. Vance are both populist on this. I remember, was it the first time they ran Ivanka and Trump out in Aston, Pennsylvania, talking about child tax credits? And his claim, if true, and I don't doubt that it is, that they reject this as another indicator. Why would you reject that? They think it's negative toward people that don't have kids? Don't we want policies? You see on the left, they come at this all the time. Well, we're tired of these policies that favor people with kids and are negative toward people that don't. I think society wants to foster having kids. Otherwise, you don't have a society ultimately. It burns out. So he's referencing they came out against the child tax credit as a way to go. Policy-wise, that's what he's referencing there.
I do have that isolated if you want it.
Okay.
Campaign coming out this very morning, Megan, and saying that we should not have the child tax credit, which lowers tax rates for parents of young children. It's because they have become anti-family and anti-kid. And I'm proud to stand up for parents, and I hope that parents out there recognize that I'm a guy who wants to fight for you. I want to fight for your interests. I want to fight for your stake in the country, and that is what this is fundamentally about. The Democrats in the past 5-10 years, Megan, they have become anti-family. It's built into their policy. It's built into the way they talk about parents and children, and it's time that we called that out.
All right, so I don't doubt him. He's not going to make that up. The child tax credit, they don't want to go that way. Well, why? Why would you now? The only thing I will tell you is this. When we start getting into some of the stuff that was thrown out there, and Ivanka Trump, I call it out, was the one involved with it at first, and we're paying for child care, that kind of thing for people that are making, I think it was $150,000, $200,000 a year, family, some cap like that. No, I'm not on board with that. You got to pay your own child care. But the tax credit thing is a compromise here, and I think I'm fine with that. They just want government programs. That's why they're against this. They want to have failures like, is there just a blatant failure, Head Start, and yet it still hangs around from Lyndon Johnson. Just a blatant failure as far as exactly all that money spent and what it does. So I think we hear his point there. But he's got to be smarter about it. You know what the media is going to do? All we're going to get is the cat lady comment with Kamala Harris, and that's going to lead us towards, you're attacking her because she doesn't have a child. Then the yo-yo on Fox yesterday talking about her and Willie Brown. Jeez. I mean, I just would have used that as a teachable moment. No, buddy, you're not getting out of this. We're not going to shrug our shoulders. You're a jerk. And you're going to cost us here. 855-839-1210. All right, grab a line. Hit us with that food. Underrated. Food combo. May not sound so good, but it tastes good, and people don't know it. You do. 855-839-1210.
Talk Radio 1210's Huge Politics and Pints with Donald Trump Jr. is moving to Thursday, September 12th. Join Dom Giordano as he talks to Donald Trump Jr. about all things Trump. Just 2 days after the planned presidential debate. The new date, Thursday, September 12th at Scottish Rite Auditorium in Collingswood. Your tickets include a copy of Letters to Trump by former President Trump. A cash bar will be available. Get your tickets now at 1210WPHT.com. That's 1210WPHT.com.
Are you worried about the state of the economy? Concerned about market crashes and rising inflation wiping out your savings? At Noble Gold Investments, we understand your fears and have a solution. Call us today at 1-888-403-1050. Imagine safeguarding you and your family with a tangible asset that has stood the test of time. Gold. With Noble Gold Investments, you can diversify your portfolio and protect your wealth from economic turmoil. Our team will guide you through the process, ensuring you make informed decisions that best suit your needs. Call Noble Gold Investments today at 1-888-403-1050. That's 1-888-403-1050. The future is uncertain. Take control now. Call 1-888-403-1050.
Past performance may not be indicative of future results. Investing in precious metals, including gold, involves risks. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision.
Hi, everyone. Matt here from Emmons Roofing and Siding. There are a lot of companies out there that say they do roofing, siding, windows, and doors. Some good, some not so good. Be careful of those that say buy two, get two free. Does that really make sense? Think about it. At Emmons, we don't offer gimmicks, just quality products installed by our experienced craftsmen. We do offer 12 months, same as cash financing, though. That's not a gimmick. That's because we know how tough it is for some people right now to get these projects done. If you need roofing, siding, or windows and doors, call us for a free estimate today at 856-885-6677 or visit us at callemmons.com.
Over the summer, get a jump on the new school year for your child. Special tutoring and custom instruction is available from METC, the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. Now's the time to call Kathy Ganna and make the most of these summer months and get a plan in place for your student this fall. Call the Motivational Educational Tutoring Company. For over 30 years, METC's tutoring studio, founded by educator Kathy Ganna, has helped people of all ages grow personally and academically. Call Kathy today at 215-493-4200. METC offers motivational SAT prep as well as academic skills and leadership training. Call 215-493-4200. Visit online at METC.com. Call METC's tutoring studio today at 215-493-4200 or email Kathy directly at info@METC.com. Remember, 1210 listeners receive a free 1-hour consultation. Take advantage of this opportunity to help your child get one-on-one help. Call 215-493-4200.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
Have you subscribed to our YouTube channel yet? What? Do it today at 1210 WPHT.
Okay, it is Dom time. Taking a look there, what J.D. Vance was saying about it. It appears the campaign They're trying to claim that J.D. Vance is actually for higher taxes. He wants higher taxes on those who are childless. And I think what we're seeing here is he wants lower taxes. He wants to encourage families to be able to have kids, and they're opposed to that. And I'm looking on Twitter, and there seem to be a lot of people who think that's unfair. Is it, or is that a societal goal to aid and abet families to have kids? I think it is. I think Trump was for that. I thought Democrats kicking and screaming were for that too, but maybe not. But the manner in which he did it, said it originally, got to know you're going to be open fire for that. By the way, Tucker Carlson is now being touted as one of the people who put J.D. Vance in there with Trump, in addition to Don Jr. You know, by now there are already people, some of it media bias, saying he's going to be ousted, J.D. Vance. And Carlson yesterday, according to Spotify, has a more popular podcast now than Joe Rogan. Oh, now, I don't know periods of time or how. Yeah, I think that's a step up. Maybe America's getting a little bit tired of Rogan and just kind of maybe during COVID, they felt that he was the only one saying what they wanted to hear and all the controversy. Maybe it's tiring. Now, I don't know how periodically they do this, what the Nielsen standard, whatever you want to call it is, around podcasts. But it's pretty clear most people are saying today that Tucker Carlson is now the number one podcast.
So what I have pulled up here is Spotify numbers. So Spotify numbers.
Spotify. Well, they're pretty good, yeah.
So the top 5, they're able to track who downloads and who listens to and how long people listen to it. And just recently, Rogan was surpassed as the longtime leader for the Spotify leader of podcasts, which is a very big podcast platform, if not one of the biggest.
Oh, it is, yeah,
so,
without a doubt.
Huge. It's huge.
Yeah, when I think of podcasts that are popular, it's Rogan, it's apparently Carlson, and it's a lot of murder mysteries, that type of stuff that's popular. Then there's Reading, Writing, and Reason. I want to get the number on that. Are we closing in yet, Dan? That's your mission on Tucker Carlson. Come on now. All right, let's go to Alan in Doylestown on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Alan, good afternoon.
Hey, good afternoon, Dom. Love the show. Thanks for doing what you do. Inspiring, provocative conversation is what we need. I heard that comment from J.D. Vance. I'm a Marine myself, so gotta love him because he's a Marine, and stuff like that, But when I heard that cat lady comment, it just kind of made me cringe as well, because I was just like okay, this is more of the same, whether it comes from the Democrats, whether it comes from Trump. Trump does the same thing. And actually, you just need to shut up with all that, with all the name calling, all the personal attacks, everything else like that. And politicians need to focus on attack the policy, don't attack the person, and that's been all along. I don't know who started. I don't care who started, but it's got to end. And so keeping comments like that to yourself, okay, people don't relate to it. All it does is create hatred and divisiveness. On both sides, if you're a cat lady, you're going to hate J.D. Vance now. But if you're not a cat lady, you know what, you're going to start hating cat ladies. So either way, it doesn't work. But attack the policy and say why it doesn't work. And exactly like you said, society needs to be pro-family. That's how we continue the human race, right? So nobody disagrees with that.
And Alan, I am very surprised that they're dancing toward coming out against the child tax credit. Just to get at Vance. That's what you ought to be mining. That's a losing hand for Democrats.
But I do agree with what he said, though, when he explained it further, that Democratic policy, and the city is a perfect example of this. They are, unfortunately anti-family. There's more and more programs that are more directed at, just individuals and without kids for whatever reason, and so if people have kids, people make a lot of sacrifices to have kids. And it's not just financial. I mean, childcare is debilitating for people. I'm a child therapist, marriage and family therapist, with working with families and kids, and I see how debilitating this is to families, not only emotionally to, what parents go through with their kids, but then financially and everything else too.
Without a doubt, without doubt. Thank you, Alan. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Thanks for the kind words. All right, 855-839-1210. And it's hard to put you got to know, they're not going to put it in context, the cat lady comment and all the rest. Just one observation. What a difference Trump with Netanyahu and his wife, Kamala Harris, coming out and saying, of course, I support the right of Israel to defend itself, but I decree it's got to stop now, this war in Gaza. Based on what? What is she decreeing we have to stop the war in Gaza based on? Well, you have people starving there. You have all this. Yes, because Hamas won't let them get the food. Continue. No. They not only have the right, Israel, to protect themselves and to define that, they have the duty to their people and the world to exterminate Hamas. That's what they're after. That's what they're going to try to do. She's saying, no, you don't. She's judged. You've done enough now. You got to let them come back, and another day they'll attack and butcher you. How does she have the right to make that determination? Well, they're not going to follow it anyhow, but she doesn't. She's playing to the mob. She's playing to the other side. They want to say now, Israel, you've done enough. We don't care if you don't believe that's the fact and the evidence. We're just saying you've done enough. All right, phone lines are 855-839-1210. Play a little bit of this Kentucky Governor Beshear, but Alan made some good points there. I mean, has J.D. Vance drawn them out now where they're against supporting families unless it's just a government program through tax cuts? Are they that much against tax? Yeah, they are. Anything that's a tax cut. No. You don't do it that way. You spend more money and fail your programs like Head Start. That's what you do. 855-839-1210.
Bring on the summer heat with huge savings when you replace your old inefficient windows and doors with the great people at Guida Door and Window. Right now, Guida is offering their best discounts of the year with their big 40% off summer sales event on all expertly installed windows and doors. Have drafty windows you've been meaning to replace? Well, you receive 40% off each window you buy. That's right, 40% off all high-performance, energy-efficient triple-pane windows. In need of new doors? Well, Guida's got you covered there as well with 40% off all high-quality entry doors, patio doors, garage doors, and storm doors. Plus, you can start your project with no money out of pocket and pay it off interest-free for up to 18 full months. Don't let these incredible savings pass you by. Go Guida right now so you can take advantage of these limited time savings. All prior sales excluded. Offer expires July 31st, so call Guida today. Schedule a free in-home estimate at 1-877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go. GUIDA.com.
Crash-proof consumer Joe Doherty of Maple Shade, New Jersey, has true security in retirement.
The main foundation of crash-proof is that you maintain your capital investment. It's not prone to the vagaries of the market. You know that whether we have 2 crashes, 6 crashes, no matter how long you live, you know that your principal is safe and guaranteed. Anyone that has any doubts about whether their investments are going to fall or dip down and the troughs and the crashes and all the other vagaries of the market, I just recommend highly crash-proof retirement. Protect your capital, protect your investment.
Only crash-proof retirement can guarantee no market risk, no fees, and financial peace of mind in a legally binding recorded financial meeting. Schedule an appointment to begin your crash-proof retirement education. Call us at 1-800-722-9728. That's 800-722-9728. Or visit crashproofretirement.com.
2 legends, 1 can. Jack and Coke, the #1 cocktail in the world, is now available in a can. Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey mixed with Coca-Cola or Coca-Cola Zero Sugar are available in a can. Is there any better time than summer grilling season for a cold Jack and Coke? Jack and Coke in a can. Born for the backyard. Available at your local PA Fine Wine and Good Spirits store. Go to finewineandgoodspirits.com. Please drink responsibly.
Whiskey Specialty, 7% ABV. Jack Daniel Distillery, Lynchburg, Tennessee. Jack Daniel's and Old Number 7 are registered trademarks of Jack Daniel's Properties Inc. Coca-Cola is a trademark of the Coca-Cola Company.
If you're looking to furnish your home or replace your old furniture, your journey begins and ends at Bucks County Estate Traders. One piece of advice, make sure you have time when you come here. The 58,000 square foot showroom is a furniture wonderland. Quality high-end pieces with inventory inventory changing daily, it's all here. Mid-century modern, traditional, vintage, antique, and name brands. They'll ship anywhere, or you can pick up in-store. Bucks County Estate Traders in Hatfield or at buckscountyestatetraders.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
On Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it is Dom time. Dilemma here now with President Trump, and he may be just playing around with this, saying since Democrats have changed by one method or another, the person he was supposed to be debating, maybe he won't do the debate. I see the defense, at least, of playing with now. Bottom line, though, if he doesn't debate Kamala Harris, in the end, I think that's a net loser. Will give them too much bandwidth to play. Oh, everybody's afraid of this woman. Now, I realize it is on ABC, and here's the dilemma. I realize Trump did that to smoke Biden out too effectively. I don't think the Trump people thought Biden would blow up that bad. Not only that, I don't know who the makeup person was. Man, don't be using that. Go with the over the tan thing. I don't think he can be too tan. Well, maybe you could.
Come on. You saw Biden in
I did one of those when during COVID we were doing the Politics and Pints, used to be called Speaker Series, and I looked red.
You were red
on the camera just because of a little bit of suntan, and we played with it, but I wasn't on national TV.
A little bit of suntan.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah,
it was a lot of suntan.
It was a lot of suntan. Sunburn. Yeah.
Well, do you burn?
No, not really.
No.
It's usually
do Italians
pretty
burn?
quick. No. Of course they can, but I never saw a row burn at all. Not once.
See, now that you think about it, though.
Yeah.
I don't know. Can they?
No, maybe not. All right, the Sons of Italy will be calling the Borowski desk here to say
Tanner and Tanner.
That's a stereotype. So the bottom line is on this, though, I think strategically, and I'm sure the Trump people are saying, if you don't debate her, they're going to run out news cycles with this. They're going to go wild. This is the type of thing. Somebody who got there with no effort, really, through all kinds of back doors, just lives to tout that she's a player. Everybody's afraid of her. Afraid of what? In a debate with Kamala Harris.
I'm afraid of her.
Other than anything remotely that they can say is misogynistic or racial, they'll go with, so you have to deal with that. But on policy, on what she's done, I mean, she couldn't and didn't get away with it with Lester Holt. What's your point, Lester? When she said, well, I haven't been to Europe, too. Lester Holt had her right there. I mean, if that had been anybody other than a news person, he would have said, all right, we're going to need a few more minutes here with the vice president, and I'll explain what my point is here. My God, the cockiness of that, though.
You're not even a little bit afraid of her?
Well, you got to be afraid of what I would be afraid of is, I'll give you a case in point. This was one of the toughest I had. Lynn Doyle and I were friends. It was CN8. They used me a lot. And it was an issue on red light cameras, I think. Yeah, well, I think it was red light cameras. And against me on the other side, Dan, was this beautiful blonde woman. I didn't know at that point. I think it was a cousin of Kelly Ripa, and was put into a wheelchair by a drunk driver, even though I wasn't told it was a drunk driver. So you have someone who's been severely injured, sympathetic. What am I going to do? Be screaming policy at them? Thank God I asked, was it a drunk driver? And I was able to make my point about red light cameras and why I oppose red light cameras. You see what I'm saying? I mean, I recognized there's an area of sensitivity there that if you don't respect it and say, well, you ought to just treat everybody the same, well, then you're going to lose in a lot of situations. So with Harris, you just have to be cautious on some of the things that you know the media is going to pounce on. But she does have a glass jaw in the sense she has rarely, if ever, it's like same thing with Michelle Obama, maybe even more. How do I know what she's going to do under fire? Just Lester Holt, Dan, in 30 seconds was able to take her apart. She's not used to somebody punching back, so to speak. She's not used to it. It never happened. She never does anything where there's going to be any kind of confrontation. That's how she's made it to where she is today. She was in a state that is deeply, deeply blue. She was an insider, Willie Brown, all the way up.
You want the Lester Holt clip?
Yeah, let's hear the Lester Holt clip.
Okay. Do you have any plans to visit the border?
At some point, we are going to the border. We've been to the border. So this whole thing about the border, we've been to the border. We've been to the border.
You haven't been to the border.
And I haven't been to Europe. And I mean, I don't understand the point that you're making. I'm not discounting the importance of the border.
Well, put a button.
Okay.
Did he say anything after that? I know we I think he said to put a button on it, Dan.
Yeah.
And then he was, how do you know? I think that's what the follow-up was. But notice she thought she was ahead of the game by saying, we're tired of this. You can't keep on coming back at me on anything. Don't you understand? I don't engage. I don't have to do this stuff. Yeah.
Well, there's also, she's could be a good debater, but, you're walking the dog and you pass woods and you hear this.
Right?
It's kind of scary, too.
Yeah, well, there's that. Yeah, but that's for ads. That's for people to put out there. You can do that in ads and all that.
They do use
that's
it really
exactly
well, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah, that's exactly right. It's worse than Hillary. She's got more. So, look, when it's a male versus female, the thing I was telling you about Kelly Ripa's cousin, there are things that females are going to be more criticized for. They have to be careful about. And if you're in the ring debating something with a female like that, there are things that you have to be careful of as a male that are going to be problematic for you. Now, you could say, well, we ought to just look at people. Don't look at that. Yeah, well, come on now. What world are you living in? These are the things that are part of it. It's not just the words and the policies. But she has not had experience at look who took her apart, even more than Lester Holt. Tulsi Gabbard. She didn't know what to do. When Tulsi Gabbard came at her from the populist side, what Harris did, as far as I can tell, as a DA, she was a Larry Krasner DA, except to make a mark, she went wild going after people, strangely, who were marijuana smokers. That was Tulsi Gabbard's point.
I do have the audio.
Yeah, we'll play it in a second. And yet, she pretty much admitted she smoked marijuana on the Charlemagne show. The same thing. And that's what Gabbard was getting at. But she really didn't have a response to this. Here's how it sounded with Tulsi Gabbard.
She'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row until the courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
As the elected Attorney General of California, I did the work of significantly reforming the criminal justice system of a state of 40 million people, which became a national model for the work that needs to be done. And I am proud of that work. And I am proud of making a decision to not just give fancy speeches or be in a legislative body and give speeches on the floor, but actually doing the work of being in the position to use the power that I had to reform a system that is badly in need of reform. That is why we created initiatives that were about reentering former offenders and getting them counseling.
The bottom line is, Senator Harris, when you were in a position to make a difference and an impact in these people's lives, you did not. And worse yet, in the case of those who were on death row, innocent people, you actually blocked evidence from being revealed that would have freed them until you were forced to do so. There is no excuse for that. And the people who suffered under your reign as prosecutor, you owe them an apology.
All right, so it's very rare, is the broader point I'm making here, aside from the back and forth in the policies. She's not used to this. Now, I'm looking, Byron Donalds, Dan, is just on Fox right now. Byron Donalds was on with Bill Maher last week, and that comedian Wilmore, isn't it Wilmore, I think? And I could tell that Bill Maher, I know him pretty well, was really impressed with Byron Donalds. But he knows, he's willing to go on the Bill Maher show. He knows Bill Maher is very liberal, progressive, anti-Trump. And he more than held his own. And you could see he's not getting unraveled. I've never seen him unraveled. He's used to being under attack. So Kamala Harris has not had a lot of batting practice, is the way to put this. She hasn't had a lot of real-life experience where she's had to deal with people pushing back. And Lester Holt was just an example. So in a debate, no, I don't think she's necessarily overwhelming. I think that's a big advantage when you have to do it with a guy like Byron Donalds every time, except if he's on Fox maybe. Then you get used to it. You're ready for it. If you missed that one, Dan, it was brilliant stuff. It was funny. He didn't go after Wilmore. He kind of tried to help him along. And Bill Maher just let them talk for 2 or 3 minutes at a time, a sign that he thought, wow, this is great TV. It was very good. On abortion particularly. He was really good.
That's the reason we have him on so much.
Yeah, well, I'd love to get him. I mean,
guest.
yeah,
He's
and
great.
Again, you see what it does. That's why I advise Republicans to go on places like this, because if you can throw some punches back and not get all ruffled, then when you get in debates, you get into policy on this stuff. And I mean, how many times has Kamala Harris in the last 4 or 5 years actually had to face somebody confronting her on anything where she wasn't shielded? And the answer is very, very little. Lester Holt was an example. All right, the Earl of Tacony holding in. Let's get the first on the side question today. Hey, Earl, good Friday. Go right ahead.
Hey, Dom. Yeah, a couple things. You're just batting 1,000 going through the show. First off, I'm not a hillbilly. I'm a Mountain William.
Okay. Gotcha. All right.
Thanks for being PC. Earl.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Yes. And Dan wanted to know about Dutch and German. The Pennsylvania Germans, the German word for German is Deutsch. So when they used to say Pennsylvania Deutsch, they corrupted it to where it says Pennsylvania Dutch.
So Dom is Philadelphia Dutch.
So I've now Pennsylvania. I've been in there, the Germantown, for like 30 years. I'm not some big mouth white guy from the suburbs. I'm a big mouth white guy from
Germantown. What do we
Germantown.
call people from Tacony? Are they the bridge people?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bridge people are old.
They're Taconians.
Well, we're an independent bridge from the rest of the Delaware Valley or the Delaware River Bridge Commission. Anyway, you keep talking about the J.D. Vance not really being from Kentucky. Well, Joe left Scranton when he was 5 years old.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, and he keeps saying, I'm from Scranton.
That's a great right, yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, Hillary never claimed to be from Scranton, despite the fact that her father was there. In fact, Hillary probably spent more time in Scranton than Joe did, because the Rodmans used to vacation in a place called Lake Winona, right at the end of the Northeast Extension outside of Scranton.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's a great point. And they know this, Earl. They know they got the media advantage to help on this. That one of the things that everybody does that's in the public eye is they want to talk about where they're from and what they were taught by that. So it would be a fight to the death to try to tell me I'm not from South Philly. Come on.
But for my side question,
yes.
I do agree with Dan. I have mayonnaise on my cheesesteak. I have a Philadelphia Whopper. I have the cheesesteak hoagie, which is the cheesesteak with mayonnaise, lettuce, and tomato. It's just a Whopper on a roll.
Okay, you and John Kerry, yes. Take mincing pieces of it at Mulligan sometime. We'll
you
kick
eat
you
it with
out
a
of
fork
there.
and knife?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
no. In fact, a good long hot really goes well with that. But one thing I used to have when I was a child, I haven't really had it lately, is salt on apple slices.
Okay. All right, we'll put that.
Sweeten the salt. Okay.
Yeah, it gives you the mix of the two, and especially if you're out sweating in the summer, the little extra salt is an excuse. Doesn't hurt.
It's almost like preparing you for a salt rim on a drink, like a margarita. Okay,
Exactly.
I like it.
Thank you, Earl. Thanks
Yeah,
very much. I want to go to Patty. She's headed to the Deptford Mall. Patty, what's happening?
Hi. I wanted to touch base. I was listening to Dawn this morning talking about yesterday the demonstrators with Netanyahu and how they were burning the American flag.
Right.
And so I was just coming back from Philly. I'm from Washington Township, but I was heading to the Deptford Mall. And there, lo and behold, on the corner is one man waving this huge Hamas flag. I'm still upset about it, driving by it. There were people coming the opposite direction that looked like they were arguing with him. They did scream something out of the window, but I just can't even believe that now they're, it was one thing they're in colleges but now they're infiltrating neighborhoods. I'm not. I don't know how people aren't getting upset.
Patty, was it Deptford Mall?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Standing right on the corner of where you get off 55.
Okay. So
on the corner.
You're right. I mean, it's one thing when you think of these lairs, these places where you'd find that. Deptford Mall is not one of them, and it tells you the boldness of it, maybe the ignorance, maybe not, of what this group is all about.
Yeah, I don't understand how people aren't getting upset about this. Go home, go live with them then. Go, this is the United States. They're burning our flags. People should be so infuriated about this.
Exactly. Thank you, Patty. Yeah, as Netanyahu said, gays for Gaza. That's like chickens for Chick-fil-A.
It's clip of the year so far, I think.
Oh, yeah. And he delivered it beautifully. He was really on the other day. I think even Democrats thought, you can't be booing and going nuts here. We'll leave that to Harris.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Some of these protesters hold up signs proclaiming gays for Gaza. They might as well hold up signs saying chickens for KFC.
I said KFC. I don't know why I went with Chick-fil-A there. Okay.
Because Chick-fil-A is clearly superior.
Yeah, probably, yes.
Yeah.
All right, 855-839-1210. That's how you get on board. Oh, I'm seeing, that's why this topic, I see what Robert has. Dude, I'm an anti-gravy guy. Not gravy, what gravy really means.
Why are you anti-gravy?
All those brown gravies and all. My skin is crooked. Get the YouTube. Turn that YouTube off.
What is wrong?
My skin's breaking out here thinking about that. You know what it is? Because when you have when you have Italian gravy, when you have actual gravy that we talk about.
So you're just upset about the name?
The brownness of it is just offensive.
Have you ever had KFC gravy that they put on their mashed potatoes?
Oh, God.
It is wonderful. They did an entire episode of South Park where Cartman wants to have a pool of KFC gravy because it is that delicious.
Well, never do this topic again. Jim, you write that down because Dan's off on this. He eggs on to this. Can we do the underrated food combos together?
A couple weird ones, too.
Yes.
We can come and bring him in on this one.
He's not going to do that. No, he knows.
Jim's
he's from South Philly.
He gets
a gravy thing. All right, coming up, your calls, and just as we suspected, a leaked Democrat memo, how to say that Harris was not the border czar, has ended up out there in the hands of the media, who then have dropped it, and now we have it. I'll give you some of the details. How do you go about proving something that we know is factual? Where's the fact checker? Where's the Dale guy? Why doesn't Fox have a fact checker? We should have a special job here at the station.
Well,
fact
when
checker.
everything you say on your network is factual.
Right. Yeah, then we can do that. Yeah. Well, or on Talk Radio 1210. Dan is 6'8". Well, he's 6'7" and 9
Yeah, Dom can outrun a bear, sure.
I'm 6'1" $1.25". All right.
Throw a football 40 yards.
I could throw a football 40 yards. This is my hair. Well, that's absolutely true.
Well, hold on. That's true, though.
Get that Dale guy in here. We'll show that.
Tony.
Yeah, where's Tony? Tony, come to the Don Trump Jr. event. You can feel the hair there. I'll allow that night just to show that it's real.
So is it because gravy's meat-based that you're distasteful towards it?
It's the brownness of it. I
Wait,
don't like
what?
the brown. I can't stand it.
Can you eat chocolate ice cream?
Yeah, chocolate ice cream's fine.
But it's brown.
Yeah, but you have red gravy. I mean, it's offensive.
But it's completely, that's sauce. I mean, that's completely different than gravy.
I would eat at Italian restaurants or have Italian food every night forever. There you go.
So for
I don't need any
Thanksgiving,
change.
what's on Dom's plate?
I have turkey.
You do have turkey for Thanksgiving?
Yeah, for Thanksgiving.
You want that tryptophan dose. but the gravy.
No gravy.
What?
Never.
You just have to.
Would you like
turkey
some gravy
is so
on that?
dry,
Would you like
though.
Not to me. I'm watching all these
come
other
on.
people with the gravy. Oh my God.
Cottonmouth from your dinner.
All right, we gotta get off this. We gotta get off the gravy because that image will be in my
Can we
mind.
just get Robert's answer real quick? I feel bad that he's been sitting.
Well, I'll go to it coming up. He's only been a little bit. He's got chicken gravy. Chicken gravy on top of it. 855-839-1210. You get on board here. By the way, Leslie's in Bryn Mawr. Bryn Mawr, Swarthmore, and Haverford are 3 of the 20 remaining colleges that still demand you show that you've gotten your full COVID vaccinations. We have 3 of them here still in the Delaware Valley.
What is going on?
Out of the whole country, there's only 20. 3 of them right there.
So being a hypochondriac that I am, when I found out that Biden allegedly got COVID, I thought to myself, it's been a while since I took a booster.
You did tell me that.
Yeah.
We remember how you got one of the first shots,
I
too.
did.
That was tricky, yes.
Well, I was like patient zero. I didn't
Yeah.
have COVID, but I was sick when very early on, and everyone around here was saying that it was my
Exactly.
fault that it spread around here. And,
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I wanted,
okay.
I wanted to
Don't
offer
let me
an
know
olive
if you
branch.
get
Why
another
not?
one then. All right, 855.
I was the Rudy Gobert of WPHT, allegedly.
855-839-1210.
At Skechers, we put the S in comfort. Now, I know you're probably spelling comfort in your head and asking yourself, is that possible? Am I just a really bad speller? Look, I don't know your spelling aptitude, but Skechers most definitely put the S in comfort because Skechers is the comfort technology company and has developed fits and features that change everything you know about comfort, like hands-free Skechers slip-ins, the ultimate in comfort and convenience. It's footwear you just step into and they're on, with no bending down. Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
You're driving along when you realize...
Oh, I've got to get over. Oh my gosh, sorry!
You didn't see him, did you? He was in your blind spot. You can also have a blind spot when it comes to your retirement. That's where Joe Yakovich of JML Financial Group comes in. He knows about a little blind spot called taxes. Social Security, your pension, your investments, all can be taxable. Look, you don't want to end up saying...
Will I be writing huge checks to the government when I retire?
Don't get blindsided by taxes. Make sure your retirement plan has a tax plan. With one call to JML Financial Group, 856-925-6674. That's 856-925-6674. Or at jmlfinancialgroup.com. Securities and investment advisory services offered through Brokers International Financial Services, LLC, member SIPC. Brokers International Financial Services, LLC is not an affiliated company. JML Financial Group does not offer legal or tax advice. Please consult the appropriate professional regarding your individual circumstance.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering to qualified buyers a maximum discount of $13,176. This offer is good on all 2024 XC90s in stock, $13,176. Plus, the Cherry Hill Volvo 2024 model year sell down. Pricing and attention to detail here is not to be missed. Volvo should be on your shopping list now. This is the time to purchase from Cherry Hill Volvo.
Communities are filled with all kinds of people.
You've got your speed walkers, your movie buffs, and can't forget about the "this could use more paprika" folks. AARP offers events right in our community to help you find your crew. The sooner you join the fun, the more connections you'll make along the way. Download the AARP Now app and discover local events right at your fingertips.
Yo, Roy is Ford. We know your favorite station is 1210 WPHT.
Everything else is great.
Oh, no. This meme will be out there forever. Let me go to someone who we know knows at least great Italian wines. Remind me, Dan, you're supposed to pick up that case of Chianti over at Wine World in Cherry Hill. Let's go to Leslie and Bryn Mawr on Talk Radio 1210. Hey, Leslie, afternoon.
Aloha.
So, Leslie, you'll be coming to the Don Trump Jr. event, I'm hoping, and I think for that event, you're going to need more than just a bottle of wine. We're expecting a case, I think.
I'm still expecting that dinner, so we'll talk about that at dinner.
All right.
So Bryn Mawr College is left of Kamala Harris. So don't be surprised at all that they have mask mandates still going on.
Isn't it curious, though, that we have 3 out of only 20 in the country, according to College Fix, all within that little triangle, Swarthmore, Haverford, and Bryn Mawr.
Yeah, well, and they're all like they make Kamala Harris look like a Republican. But so you don't need to go after Harris at all. At every Trump rally, all they need to do is put up on the screen a montage of her own words. And then another montage of the media gaslighting and flipping, and just show. I was saying to Jim that, more people watch those rallies than Republicans. It's not like, Democrats tune into those. So let them watch these montages of Kamala just really blowing herself up.
Well,
it's her words saying that she didn't support the police. It's her words that says, even her comeback in the Tulsi Gabbard debate was really saying we believe in the George Soros way of governing cities.
Yeah, all true. I'm just saying you can carefully, too, talk about some of these issues that are there, but it's got to be very careful. And Fox should have gone after that guy yesterday who likened her to that regrettable woman that I can't even say the name in the process. I don't want people Googling,
Yeah. But, if you're going to get in a presidential race, then you better have your big girl panties on. This isn't, playing bridge and we're all going to politely chat amongst each other. This is a battle for the country right now.
Yep,
exactly. It's not a typical election. So, there's evidence. I just sent you something that she could be held responsible for the whole Russian invasion of Ukraine.
I think that goes a little bit too far. So let's talk about it, Leslie.
I know. You read that article.
Well, I know that she went there. She said to them, "Don't," and all that. Then they did. They can easily explain. You got to face it. It's Biden and Biden's weakness that triggered that, and that accrues to Trump in a positive way. I think there's better stuff to your initial point. But give me the thing that you think is underrated.
Well, I don't think it's underrated. I wouldn't touch this with the 10-foot pole, but they've taken the iconic Rice Krispie treats, and instead of Rice Krispies, you use flaming hot Cheetos and marshmallow.
Oh, my God. Thank you, Leslie. Yeah, that's not underrated, though. That's completely out there.
No desire for it.
All right, we know. We'll find out. We'll tell them the side question that Jeff Van Drew coming up next. We'll have scotch with anything, apparently. He had a chance to grill Christopher Wray on the outgrowth of the Secret Service testimony, then the head of the FBI. what did he ask him about? And apparently this Trump questionnaire done in some FBI offices, and if you check off too many pro-Trump stuff, as I understand it, you're not going to move forward in the FBI. We'll ask him about that and Christopher Wray next on Talk Radio 1210.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Why are prices spiking in Pennsylvania? It's simple. It's inflation. And Senator Bob Casey's reckless spending caused the problem to grow. Casey joined Washington liberals in voting for trillions in reckless spending. All of Senator Casey's spending caused inflation to get out of control until disaster. Everything is too expensive, from gas to groceries. And Senator Casey helped create this mess. Worse, Casey voted to allow COVID relief checks for illegal immigrants and convicted criminals, even murderers. Senator Casey voted to allow more money for illegals, leaving less for us. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to put Pennsylvania families first and fix his inflation disaster. Support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act. Paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our Timeshare Exit Information Kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121. 800-329-2121.
Chronic pain, cancer, fatigue. Find out about the benefits of medical hydration therapy on Health Watch with Dr. Molly Fantasia every Sunday morning at 8 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Best weekend of the year. Very comfortable, low humidity. Today it's going to be 86. We'll go up to 87 on Saturday. Get up to 90 on Sunday with some clouds moving back in. On Monday, it'll get a little more humid. We'll see possibly some afternoon showers.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. For over 35 years, we've grown by offering our clients more offices, more lawyers, and recovering more than $20 billion. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. In a moment, we're going to talk with one of our favorites. Sort of winner in the Scotch contest. Yeah, he was the winner big time.
Sort of. He crushed it.
Well, I was 2 out of 3. Just flicking me off there at Mulligan's. Hope to do that again. Wait a minute. He's from Richboro, Pennsylvania. Jeff Andrew.
No. That was some other person that last called unknown.
Okay, unknown. Congressman Jeff Andrew. Here's a little bit of him back and forth with the FBI Director, Christopher Wray.
On another tangent here, I've got to wonder how many qualified people were passed in order for Director Cheadle to get her 30% quota. That's a lousy way to run an agency, especially when it's dealing with law enforcement, to say we've got to have 30% of anything. And I worry about these practices because it's policy over protection. And Director Wray, I know that some things were left to you. I understand that. But one of your early acts on the Biden presidency was hiring the FBI's very first chief diversity officer. And since that time, and even before your time, and you're going to disagree with me, but respectfully, I'm going to disagree with you. Recruitment standards under your lead has resulted in deterioration in many areas, including physical fitness, illicit drug use, financial irregularities, mental health issues, full-time work experience, and integrity. And I know you dismissed them, but in October 2023, they are a prestigious group of retired FBI special agents and analysts both expressed concern regarding the FBI's willingness to recruit agents that, quote, I'm not saying this, they said it, not me, can't even pass the new relaxed standards for fitness, who are illiterate in some cases and need lessons, educational lessons, don't want to work weekends or after hours, their words, and have serious disabilities or mental health issues, which is not the place for them.
Wait a minute. Don't want to work weekends or after hours. Put me in charge. Oh, man.
It's nice to not work.
There we go. Let's go to Congressman Jeff Van Drew. Congressman, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Good to be with you, Tom.
Absolutely. So how did you feel with the response from the FBI director on this?
Well, here's the deal. I mean, it's the same FBI director that said he didn't know anything about agents going into Roman Catholic churches because they considered them domestic terrorists, didn't know anything about the millions of innocent people whose personal lives were checked into by the FBI using FISA, a process that was only supposed to be after international actors that were doing, terrorist activity around the world. Same FBI director that had allowed agents to go into school boards and, check into parents that were just expressing their viewpoint about their kids' education. So I've got a choice here. I'm either going to believe what he said at the hearing, and I was respectful and nice. We usually even go at it harder, or I'm going to believe all these retired agents and analysts who have absolutely no reason to lie, who just want the FBI to be what it always has been. And let me say to you, Dom, the vast majority of men and women who work at the FBI are doing a great job. Every race, every color, every creed, whatever sex they are.
Exactly.
Nobody cares about that. But you've got to be able to do the job. And if you don't want to work weekends and you don't want to be hard and you don't want to, know that sometimes you've got to risk your life to save a president or a member of Congress or anybody, then you do not belong there. That's that simple.
Yeah, and I see him every time I see his face, Jeff. I think, look, everybody makes mistakes. President Trump, I think, has learned by this. It's going to be a much better second term buttoned up. This was a bad choice. Maybe Chris Christie got in his ear with Wray. That's what I suspect. I don't know about you. But this was a bad pick by Trump of Christopher Wray.
Well, two things. One good choice of Trump was not to hire Chris Christie. So
yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't honestly. I mean, I knew Governor Chris Christie. He's not the same man that I knew that I dealt with when I was a state senator in the New Jersey legislature. He did a good job in many ways in New Jersey. What has happened to him? I mean, my God, he was on The View the other day. But anyhow, going back to this, I just, I'm deeply disturbed by a lot of what Wray has done. And I agree with you. President Trump was trusting a lot of people around him. He was a businessman, not a career politician. He has learned so much about so much in the last few years that I think it's going to be an even better, and it was a good administration, but I think it's going to be an even better, more focused administration than before.
Now, last time around we talked about, and you did it, if you remember, I stopped you and emphasized that because I think it was exactly the right thing. Just a kind word toward J.D. Vance about how to move forward. I'm just reading a column from a guy that we have on who's a deep conservative and believes that Vance is in a bit of trouble here as far as some of the polling and other things. Now, we know the media is going to go after whoever it is that Trump would pick. But what are your thoughts on going forward with J.D. Vance now?
Well, he's got to show his true self, which is a caring, compassionate man who loves the United States of America and is going to truly be a good and great vice president. And he loves his family. He loves the people of America. So he's going to go through hell, though, because this is going to be an attack on two fronts. And I said this from the very beginning, and you know this, Tom. They are going to go after, obviously, and they already have, after President Trump. I mean, they're trying to say he he didn't get shot in the ear. He didn't get shot, that it was shrapnel. Now, you heard that Christopher Wray said that it could have been shrapnel. It wasn't. It was the bullet. And his physician, Ronnie Jackson, just put out a statement saying he was shot. But you know what? They were trying to shoot him in the head. And whether it literally, and it wasn't shrapnel, but whether they missed and hit a piece of shrapnel and that hit him in the ear, or whether it was the bullet that went soaring past his ear, what the hell is the difference? The point is that somebody was on a rooftop way too close to where he was using a scope that could easily have shot him in the head. And I'm sure had it sighted right, it's only that President Trump turned his head at the last minute. But they're going to go after him about everything. And they're going
and let me ask you to that point. Look, I'm usually the anti-conspiracy guy on this, and I don't see how there could have been a conspiracy but to shoot at him. But could there have been this idea, we're just not going to give Trump the desired number of people? Trump ought to get more than anybody, former president, current candidate, and a lightning rod. How do we explain, you've been in this, grilling these people, how do we explain that guy got there? The failure is beyond belief.
Failure is so bad. I mean, not only, and some of what we did learn at that hearing judiciary, this man, Crooks, was actually sighting the area, had a drone of his own to check out the area, had researched it, had been there more than one time, and sort of planned this out. How they didn't notice that, I only can compare it to the Wildwood event, which I was intimately involved in, when we had Secret Service working with the Sheriff's Department, working with police in many different municipalities across the entire area, focused, organized, ready, service agents out in boats, on the water, up in the areas where they have the rides, behind those iconic pictures where the president was, or the entire area the board was. They had it under control and were being careful. I don't know what the hell happened in Butler, Pennsylvania, but we should find out, and it should never happen again. I don't think it was a conspiracy, but I do think that they've been sometimes reluctant, President Trump said this, to give him the protection he needs, and not only him. They did the same thing to Robert Kennedy Jr., who obviously needs protection. 2 members of his family were assassinated.
Well, that's where the politics came in, because they put 12 extra people with Dr. Jill Biden on that day and only 3 with Trump. And we don't want her to be unprotected, but she's not a target. Trump might be the biggest target, arguably, 1, 2, or 3 that we've ever seen in political history.
Absolutely. But they're going to try to minimize the fact that he was shot, was pushed down to the ground, rose up quickly, put his fist up in the air, and was still there for America. And they can do all they want. When you look at that picture, you see what happens. Same thing with J.D. Vance. To go back to your original question, they're going to, Jennifer Aniston has come out now, who's a very popular, actress from Friends. They're going to have you're going to have the celebrities one after another. They're going to take things out of context. Look, I'll be honest with you, Don. It's amazing we're ever even close in these elections, because we've got the media against us, we have the education against us, we have government against us, we have celebrities against us. Thank God we have the average, hard-working American man and woman who is with us.
You got that, certainly, when we have guys like Jeff Van Drew in the forefront. Congressman, have a great weekend. Thanks for joining us.
You too. Enjoy the weekend, and thank you for giving me the opportunity.
All right, Congressman Jeff Van Drew. I don't know if he's going to be. He's going to be at the Big Whales fundraising event, Dan. I hope to see if we can get him over to the Don Trump Jr. event. Don't forget, that's been rescheduled to September 12th. A lot's going to happen between now and September 12th. You get your tickets over there at the Scottish Rite Auditorium. You go to 1210WPHT.com. Don't be shut out from this. All right, coming up, our entertainment guy, Scott Cronick, is here. Can I take Robert's been waiting a long time, Dan. Let me take him here briefly. Robert, give me your side dish, your underrated food. Yeah.
Hi, Dom, Dan. It's good to talk to you guys. I'm almost afraid to give my answer, but I'm not worried about Kamala, and I just wanted to say that after 4 years of a Russia collusion hoax, the media gave us 4 years of a Biden delusion hoax. And I can't believe people still watch them. But at any rate, I found somebody turned me on to this, and it wound up being almost a comfort food to me, and that would be French fries and chicken gravy. The thicker the French fry, the better. And I promise you, even you, Dom, if you try it, you'll go, this isn't bad at all. And I'm going to leave it there. And you guys have a great weekend, man. I missed you guys, but I've been listening. Have a great one, Dom.
Thanks, Robert. You take care. All right. 855-839-1210. Coming up, our entertainment guy, Jeff Cronick.
Are you dealing with tax debt or unfiled tax returns and don't know how to make the problem go away? Is just the thought of dealing with the IRS giving you a panic attack? Let Legal Tax Defense take the pressure off of you. All tax relief companies are not the same, and all tax problems are complex and different. If you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS, the experienced tax attorneys and licensed enrolled agents can resolve the toughest cases. For over 15 years, Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating settlements for individuals and businesses just like you. All of their online ratings are A+. Even if you've received a threatening notice from the IRS, facing a wage garnishment, or have had your bank account levied, it's not too late to call Legal Tax Defense for a free, no-risk consultation. Get peace of mind and security knowing you hired the best. Call Legal Tax Defense at 800-962-2403. 800-962-2403. That's 800-962-2403.
At Cherry Hill Volvo, we are offering to qualified buyers a maximum discount of $13,176. This offer is good on all 2024 XC90s in stock. $13,176. Plus, the Cherry Hill Volvo 2024 model year sell down. Pricing and attention to detail here is not to be missed. Volvo should be on your shopping list now. This is the time to purchase from Cherry Hill Volvo.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Hi, Stephanie from Emmons. Are you not loving your bathroom? Is the King's Throne looking a little outdated and run down? Let Emmons Design Specialists design a bathroom that you will love and one that Emmons will redo in as little as one day. An affordable, maintenance-free bathroom with little to no inconvenience to you and your family. With finance options available, there's really only one problem. Your bathroom will be so nice, your king may never want to come out. Call Emmons today at 856-885-6677 or visit us on our website at callemmons.com.
Talk Radio 1210, WPHT. Free speech lives here.
Dom Giordano Show. Scott Cronick every other week from AC is our entertainment guide and director. Czar, if you will. Czar of entertainment.
Hold on. It depends who you ask. 3 years down the road, people might say, never the entertainment czar. No.
You were the, yes. He'll be saying, no, not that guy. I wasn't his czar.
Full denial mode.
But there's a lot of good stuff finally out there breaking. Dan and I at least have identified 3 or 4 things and see if Scott Cronick agrees. Hey, Scott, welcome in. Thanks for joining.
Wow, what an intro. Thank you very much.
Well, polish off that crown. Next time we do something in person like we have done, you should wear the crown.
All right, I'd rather have money, but I'll take the crown. That's all right.
Well, Scott, a couple things on Netflix, and I finally got Dan watching one of them. 3 things. The Hard Knocks things, maybe because of Saquon Barkley coming to the Eagles, and maybe because the GM that's the star of this is such a weaselly figure. I think this is a very good Hard Knocks and a look inside football, particularly the draft. Hard Knocks on HBO, Scott, is a very good one.
He's kind of like that good next door neighbor who's like, you trust him and you think he's mowing his lawn, but he's really looking in your window. You know what I mean? Like he's like you're right. He's a weasel, but you know what? That's probably 99% of general managers in the National Football League, in my opinion. I think that's prerequisite for the job. Now, I never watched the other ones, but because it was New York Giants, I thought it was intriguing. So I'm with you. I'm captured and waiting on the edge of my seat for the next episode. And when I first watched the first episode, it was because of the Saquon Barkley thing. And then I was like, all right, I'm hooked. I really like it.
Absolutely. You have not watched Receivers. Dan, you started to dabble in it or no?
A little bit, yeah. It's similar to Quarterbacks, which is a Netflix former one, but different and it kind of goes a little bit more inside baseball, and I like that about it. But it's not. I think Hard Knocks is like the OG behind the scenes kind of series, and I don't think anything really lives up to the HBO Hard Knocks.
Yeah, but the Receivers, I would tell people, you really get a sense of how hard you get hit and how many injuries he's got. Not catastrophic, but constant, and it's very, very inside.
So I'm only we'll keep it the sports theme real quick. I'm only halfway through it, so I'll give you the full report next time. But I'm 2 episodes into the new HBO documentary Charlie Hustle about Pete Rose, and so far so pretty great. Dan, guess what number is on my Phillies jersey?
What number?
See, well, do you know what Pete Rose's number is?
No, not offhand. No,
oh, terrible.
Well,
14. 14, because you know what, man? I think other than Reggie Jackson, Pete Rose is my favorite player of all time. So I'll tell you what, so far 2 episodes out of 4 episodes, it's excellent. Very, very well done.
Positively or negatively? Sorry to interrupt there.
I think it doesn't do either. I think it does what a good documentary does. I think it tells you what it is and lets Pete speak for himself. And the way Pete Rose is, trust me, nobody has to present him negatively. He does that pretty good all on his own.
Beautifully put. I commend it too, and I like Rose. I've interviewed him once, Scott, but it's a pretty sad individual. They don't attack him. They just let him play out how sad of a life this is in a lot of ways.
Well, that's what Al Michaels, he's interviewed in it, and they said, a lot of people say what's going on with Pete Rose is tragic. He says the word I use is sad. That's exactly right.
Oh, boy, we're really on this. The one thing that I don't like, and it pops up on HBO, and I'll admit, I have one of those things, I hate it so much.
No, I'm with you, Dom.
I don't even watch it, is House of the Dragons.
Oh, I love it.
That's Dan. I told you about this.
No, it's me and you. It's the Lord of the Rings, the fantasy crap that we can't relate to. Everyone was into Game of Thrones. You're having parties for it, and we had the FOMO over here because we just I can't relate. I can't get into it.
Yeah, listen, if you're not into the fantasy Dungeons and Dragons world, you're not going to like this. But, if you are, it's like porn, man. I mean, it is like as good as it gets, like as far as fantasy goes. And when you look at it, you realize, like, how are they, this stuff is what they used to only put it, on movie screens that would make hundreds of millions of dollars at the box office. But now you're sitting on your couch watching full-length movies, right, an hour at a time, right on your TV, on your couch. And I'll tell you what, this one is, I think it's maybe not as good as some of the seasons of Game of Thrones was, but it's really, really good. Really good.
Dan has a question.
Yeah, so the production value of House of Dragon is very appealing. Game of Thrones had that too. And I hear the production value of The Acolyte's very good over on Disney Plus, Star Wars, but the content, the wokeness is pretty bad. Your thoughts on the entire series? Has it improved? Where we stand on that?
No, I disagree. I think it looks awful. I think it's horrible. Like and to me, Star Wars is the epitome of like that should be the greatest thing on television, right? I mean, that's what everybody has modeled everything after, Star Wars. So the fact that you can watch other shows like House of the Dragons or Shogun or whatever, or Fallout, and they look 1,000 times better than Star Wars is embarrassing to Disney. And not only does it look bad, it is literally the worst piece of drivel that Star Wars has put out like in a long, long, long time. It's not only, I don't even care about any of that. I just want it to be entertaining, and it is just pure awfulness. Avoid at all costs.
Give us your best thing right now, Scott, that you'd recommend now or in the immediate future.
It's total mindless drivel, but I really enjoy Presumed Innocent. That is the Jake Gyllenhaal movie that was based on the Scott Turow novel that a lot of people might remember was a Harrison Ford movie years ago, and Alan Pakula directed that. Very good movie, actually. This is an 8-hour series. It is about a guy a lawyer prosecutor who is accused of killing his assistant prosecutor. And it's soap opera, mindless kind of stuff by David E. Kelly, who did Ally McBeal and The Practice and a lot of great shows. And I think it's really well written, very great ensemble of actors, and it's on Apple TV. And I really think it's a lot of fun, a real good binge.
Have you reached the finale yet, Scott? Because there's a lot of rumors that the finale is really underwhelming, kind of kills the series. And how much does a finale matter to a series?
I think the finale matters a lot, but the finale, I got to be honest with you, I didn't see coming, so I kind of like that because I thought I already had it all figured out. Maybe it's not the greatest ending of all time, but I listen. How can you get that upset over a show that you kind of know what it is going into it? And I mean, I think the fact that it delivered a little surprise was more than I expected, so I was actually okay with it.
What do we have going on in AC where you are, Scott, this weekend?
This weekend, there's lots of stuff comes to Tennessee Avenue Beer Hall. We got a couple great dinners this weekend. We have brunch on Saturdays and Sundays, and there's a lot of comedians in town. There's a lot of good stuff going on, and I highly recommend The Hook at Caesars. I keep telling people, go check it out. It's an amazing show that everyone should check.
Thank you, Scott. Have a great weekend.
Thank you, guys. Have a great one.
All right, Tennessee Beer Hall, Scott Cronick, our entertainment czar. Somebody's got to have that czar title. All right, coming up, we have Dom's Money Melody, and we have a real star who we've had on the show before. I think it's a farewell tour now, the Oak Ridge Boys, and performed with Elvis. Imagine getting tapped in to be with Elvis. I'm not sure if it was in his prime or slightly thereafter. It might be worse if it was a little bit after his prime. All right, that's all straight ahead, and we'll update you on a couple of other things happening nationally here on Talk Radio 1210.
Tired of hearing scary ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. We may be able to significantly reduce and even eliminate what you owe to the IRS. Taxpayers should know. Huge savings are now being made available through the Fresh Start program that can drastically reduce the amount you will owe if you qualify. Even if you haven't filed your taxes in years or are facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, or under audit, we can help. We've earned over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today. To see what savings you may qualify for, visit us online at TRA.com or call us at 800-511-0379, 800-511-0379. Again, that's 800-511-0379. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
You can still look great in that bathing suit this summer since it only takes 40 days to lose a contractually guaranteed 20 to 40 plus pounds with NJ Diet. That's nearly twice as fast as weight loss injections and without any of those nasty side effects. Within a week of starting, you will notice pounds coming off and you'll feel good too since you are doing it the natural way, quickly and safely. You can still get slimmer this summer and without any shots. Call 855-5NJ-DIET or go to njdiet.com to lose the weight for good.
Virtua Health, real patients, real doctors, real complex cases. Take one.
Open heart surgery, tear in my aorta.
The most complex cases come to us at Virtua Health.
I'm sure I wouldn't have been here without you.
Being a 45-year-old, not being able to walk up one flight of stairs, I had no idea I was in heart failure.
Virtua is a premier heart failure center in South Jersey.
They changed my life. It's truly a blessing.
Want to follow our stories? Go to virtua.org. Virtua Health, here for good.
35% of crash deaths in Pennsylvania involve drivers under the influence. Drunk, high, buzzed, wasted. Whatever you are, don't become a statistic. Make a plan to get home safe. Designate a driver, ride share, or stay the night. Be safe, PA. Visit pendot.pa.gov/safety for more. Substance use disorder treatment is available. Call 1-800-662-HELP or find a treatment facility at treatmentatlas.org. Paid for with Pennsylvania taxpayer dollars.
This is Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. When we say we hope you're never involved in an accident, we mean it. But if you are injured in an accident, we'll work quickly and tirelessly to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. And when we also say we only get paid when your case is over and you get paid, we mean it. Remember our name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com.
With so much uncertainty in the world today, you may find yourself wondering, is now even the right time to retire?
So many people are waiting, and those folks are going to be waiting a really long time, I hate to say, because there's no perfect time. The market is always unpredictable and volatile.
Fortunately, Jim Cipriotti has been helping get people to, through, and beyond retirement for over 25 years. And each week, he wants to help give you that freedom to retire. Listen to Freedom to Retire with Jim Cipriotti, Saturday mornings at 9 and Sunday afternoons at 5 on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
Window Nation presents the 1210 WPHT Veteran Spotlight in partnership with the Travis Manion Foundation. Listen the first Wednesday of every month as Kale and Company shines a spotlight on a local veteran, highlighting their remarkable commitment to the community and their exceptional service in the military. Presented by Window Nation. At Window Nation, there's nothing more important than giving back to the communities we serve. For all of your window and door needs, visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com. Philadelphia's Talk Radio 1210 WPHT, WPHT HD, WOGL HD3, Philadelphia. From the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Always live on the free Odyssey app. It's Dom time. Now, Dom Giordano.
All right, it's let me see if I can do my DJ voice here. It's required to get to the lowest. How are you, Richard Sturban? The most intimidating thing, these guys with naturally deep, great voices.
Dom,
Yes,
I'm
Richard.
doing just fine, and it's certainly a pleasure to be able to talk to you once again and to all your fine listeners out there, certainly.
You got a golden voice, Richard. You really
Richard,
do.
and we talked once.
Well, you know what? Jokingly, I tell people, when people comment about my voice, jokingly I say, if it wasn't for this voice, I'd have to work for a living. I'd have to actually get a real job.
Well, I think we talked about that, and it was around the age of 14.
I think you're right about that.
I remember a long story about that where it happened. First of all, nice shout-out from John Kruk about your soulmate there in the group, Joe Bonsall, also local, who passed, I think, Richard, in the last month.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That was a great thing that the Phillies did, and I think John Kruk pretty much had everything to do with that. Joe and John Kruk got to know each other pretty well in recent years because Joe is probably the biggest Phillies fan ever, and he never missed a Phillies game, and him and John Kruk started texting back and forth and got to know each other pretty well. So the tribute that they paid to Joe, before a Phillies game that night was so special. It's really unbelievable. It really was.
So is this one of those long farewell tours? Dan sent me some articles, and I'm looking at the various cities saying farewell. Say it's not so, or is it? And where are you going to be this weekend?
Okay, well, the best way that I can explain that, back in the fall, we got together with our booking agent and we decided, this may be the appropriate time to start a farewell tour, and by doing a farewell tour, what we're trying to do anyway is we're trying to go to as many places as we can possibly go to. We've been so fortunate and so blessed with a great career. So we want to say thank you to as many people as we can, and mainly our fans, of course. But not just our fans. People in radio like yourself who have played our records over the years and have promoted our group. People in the press that have written so many good things about us. And so when we first decided to do a farewell tour, we figured, well, let's try it for a year and see how it goes. And now, the rest of this year is so booked up. We are now booking dates for next year now. So the only thing I can the only thing I can tell you is we're on a farewell tour, but I cannot tell you when it's going to end because we do not know that ourselves.
Well, I love that, though. That is a great device. I think Elton John's farewell tour has been the last 20 years, so I hope it goes the same for you.
to be very honest about you, I'm not a kid anymore, as you know. We've talked before, but I'm not quite ready to hang it up yet. I'm not quite ready to retire, so I'm still feeling pretty good for my age. So I'm looking forward to working for a little while longer. So I can say that we are not retired. I think the end is inevitable, and it'll be in a while, but we're not quite there yet. I think the good Lord above will tell us when it's time to hang it up, and he has not said that yet. So we're still going to be around for a little while.
All right. Well, one thing before Dan has a question: where are you going to be this weekend, though? Come on, we want to know. People want to come out.
I know you asked me that. You asked me that. We're going to be two places that are within your listening area. Wednesday, we're going to be, believe it or not, I am located right now in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Ah, there you go.
I'm sitting on the deck of my sister's condo looking at the ocean. I was just on the beach and almost lost track of time, but I realized just in time it was time to call you. But we are going to be here in Ocean City, right on the music pier, whatever they call it, right here on the boardwalk.
Yeah, the music pier. It's a great facility, yeah.
It is. And so we'll be there Wednesday night, and then Friday night, we're going to be right in your backyard. We're going to be at the Keswick Theater, and I believe it's called, in Glen, is it Glenside, I believe?
And Richard, have you played the Keswick before?
Yes, we have. We have played the Keswick before, and basically it is Philadelphia, really. So we're right in your area.
Well, I said that because I've done events there. It is cavernous. It's huge. You're impressed. I think it seats 1,300. It's monstrous size when you do that. Yeah, it's a big venue.
So, but we're looking forward to it, and I can speak for all the Oak Ridge boys, and I can tell you, we plan to have a great time. This farewell tour is a celebration. We're trying to celebrate, the great career that we've been able to have. So we want to encourage people, come on out and celebrate together with the Oak Ridge boys, because we plan to have a great time. We're going to do our best to make it a great night. And you're going to hear a lot of the songs that you expect to hear. You're going to hear me, of course, do Giddy Up, Papa, Mau Mau. That will definitely happen, and all the hits, American Made, Thank God for Kids, the songs you expect to hear. We'll throw in a few songs. We're now being produced by Dave Cobb, who's one of the hottest guys in Nashville. And we'll throw in a few new songs. As you probably know, we have a gospel music background, so we'll throw in a little gospel. We're patriotic guys. We love to honor our country as well. So just a good night of good country music and family entertainment. That's really what the Oak Ridge boys are all about.
It is an amazing run. Dan, your question?
Yeah, so Richard, from the Okies, being a country music hall of famer, you grew up in Camden, right across the bridge here. Joe over here in Philadelphia. Early 70s, I can't imagine that country western music was hugely listened to in Camden.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious, how did a kid from Camden get into the world of country music?
Well, it's kind of an interesting story. I knew Joe, before before either one of us is what I'm sure. I knew him long before we ever dreamed about spending over 50 years together in the Oak Ridge Boys. And I helped organize my own group up here in this part of the country. Joe had his own little family group, and I actually had a job during the week. We just sang on weekends. I had a job with Gimbel Brothers, I believe, which is no longer there in Philadelphia, but I actually work in the men's clothing department. And Joe would come in and hang out with me, and he occasionally might buy a shirt or something, but we mainly talked about singing and talked about music. So I got to know Joe long before we ever became Oak Ridge Boys, and we back then we never dreamed that someday we would be in the Oak Ridge Boys, And I myself moved later on to Nashville, and got a job with a group called J.D. Sumner and the Stamps Quartet, and for about a year and a half, just before I joined the Oak Ridge Boys, I sang with the King of rock and roll, Elvis. And it was a special experience for me. And, you asked me about the Hall of Fame just a minute ago. Back when I was a young guy in my 20s, singing with the King of rock and roll, I never dreamed that someday I would be in the same Hall of Fame together with him. But now, if you go into the Country Music Hall of Fame in downtown Nashville, go into the Rotunda, which is a very special place. you'll see the four faces of the Oak Ridge Boys on the wall in bronze. Look around the room. You'll see Elvis in bronze. You'll see Johnny Cash, and Dolly Parton and Kenny Rogers, And for the Oak Ridge Boys to be a part of that is so special, it's beyond words. But back then when I was singing with Elvis, I never dreamed it would happen. But you never know how things are going to happen in your life.
Well deserved. And I have to tell you, you're a heck of an interview. Every time you're on, you light us up. So,
Tom, one more thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just back to where we started. Because I'm with you. Heck of an interview. I can just listen to Richard tell a story, any story, for a long time. And apparently, I think the government thought so too, and his voice was so well received, his golden voice, that he did weather announcements or public service announcements for weather radio. What was that about?
Well, one thing I've done over the years, I've kind of dabbled a little bit in voiceovers, and I think if I didn't have a career as a singer, I might get into broadcasting, but because it has always been an interest of mine. But I also developed an interest in weather, and the Weather Channel people found out about that, and they contacted me and asked me if I'd do public service, announcements and spots to promote NOAA weather radios, and I was honored to do that. It's just a little something that I dabbled with on the side, and also, I'm a huge baseball fan. And, we have a AAA team in Nashville, and I've sat in with the broadcaster there and broadcast some of the games. I'm also a huge college baseball fan. We have Vanderbilt right there in Nashville. I've sat in and done. So it's just the voiceover thing is something I just kind of as a hobby, just dabbled in just a little bit.
Great stuff, Richard. Music Pier in Ocean City this coming Wednesday, and then the Keswick on Friday.
Just going to throw this out there. If it ever gets back to Kruk or the broadcasters, you got a guy who's an experienced baseball broadcaster might want to join you in the booth.
Absolutely. That'd be good stuff.
And the Phillies are having a great year. Unbelievable. They really are.
Absolutely. Richard, thank you.
Yeah.
Enjoy the shore and enjoy the Music Pier on Wednesday.
And both of you guys, thank you for promoting the fact that we're coming here to Ocean City and there in your area, right there in Philadelphia. When you promote us, you help us, and I can speak for all the guys and tell you we appreciate it very much. So thank you. And I told you, we're not quite retired yet. We're still going to be around for a little while. Maybe, just maybe, this may not be the last time we talk.
Oh, we'll make a point of that. Thanks, Richard, very much.
Thanks to both of you, yes.
Thank you, Richard. Right. That Elvis story the last time, didn't have him retell it. I just would be mesmerized. Elvis is standing in front of me.
Right.
That would be a side question, Dan, because I've had occasion due to this job where in front of me I'm about ready to interview them, or I'm in a group where I've seen them. Who is it if they were in front of you to go, oh, my God. Don't look, Maisie. That's Elvis over there.
Yeah.
Particularly in full regalia, the whole.
And working at Stern, I got to say, the first time
Howard
walked
you
down
had
the
several,
hallway,
right.
I was like, whoa.
Who was it?
Howard himself.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I was listening to him my entire life, and when he walked in,
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But there's a lot. I mean, Betty White, I was definitely David
Dr.
Hasselhoff. For weird, Dr. Ruth, rest in peace, was one. Hasselhoff, man, that was very strange that I was starstruck for that because I would never expect to be. But the fact that he was much taller than I would have ever expected really got to me. Do you know he's a really big guy?
Who?
David Hasselhoff.
No, I did not.
Yeah, he's 6'4".
I did not know that,
yeah.
No. All right, it's time, though. All right, right on the dot. Boy, you talk about great artists, big prize. It is time for what?
It's Dom's Money Melody.
Money gone.
All right, today we're playing for a pair of tickets to see Chicago with Earth, Wind & Fire, July 31st at the Freedom Mortgage Pavilion in Camden, New Jersey. For tickets, visit Ticketmaster.com.
Yeah, Dom, let's bring it back because it's Friday and we like to have fun on Fridays. Let's ask a different language, a Chicago song sung in a different language. I can see on your face.
Here we go.
Yeah.
You're just trying to make them guess wrong and torture people who want these tickets.
Well, I'll give a descriptive clue. How about this country, the oldest in Europe, is great for surfing. It's the world's largest producer of corks. So, Dom, we want to know what language this is.
What kind of clues?
Yeah, they're big cork producers.
Cork producers.
They love corking, yes.
Okay.
We want to know what language this is being covered in. Take a listen.
Se você me deixar, você vai levar também meu coração. Meu bem,
right. Corking and anything else you'd like to tell us?
No, that's enough.
Okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
Get those tickets. Last day this week, and it's coming up. The big event, Earth, Wind, and Fire Chicago, over there in Camden. 855-839-1210. You got to jump in right now here on Talk Radio 1210.
When you need to know, depend on KYW News Radio 103.9 FM.
Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu meeting in Mar-a-Lago face-to-face for the first time in nearly 4 years. Harvey Weinstein hospitalized with COVID-19 and double pneumonia. And Dylan Cease throws the second no-hitter in San Diego Padres history, striking out 9 Nationals along the way.
Get the latest anytime on KYW News Radio. Now on Crystal Clear 103.9 FM.
You've never needed us more.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
Gotta be fresh.
Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you ready for retirement? Have you prepared everything you need? Well, in Investor Schooling, we will teach you ways to better prepare for your retirement using real estate and the stock market. But you need to learn how to do it right, and that's what we teach. At Investor Schooling, we sell nothing but education. Come to Investor Schooling and learn how to have a better retirement. Go to investorschooling.com and RSVP right now for this Thursday's class at 7 o'clock. Go to investorschooling.com. That's investorschooling.com. This is Larry Steinhaus with Investor Schooling. Are you tired of hearing about the recession that's coming? Are you prepared for it? Well, listen, at investorschooling.com, we're going to teach you ways to prepare for the recession that you didn't even know existed. We're going to teach you strategies on how to use real estate. We're going to teach you strategies how to use the stock market properly. That's right, you can even make money in the stock market when the stock market goes down. Hey, go to investorschooling.com and register for a free class this Thursday night, and you will learn all of these techniques. Go to investorschooling.com right now, RSVP for this Thursday. We'll see you there.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Hey, Clementon. We know your favorite station is Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
WPHT. It's the Money Melody.
Where has all the money gone?
Show me the money.
That is right. Big prize. People have been thrilled this week with it. Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire coming to Camden on the 31st of July. Let's hear the language clue again. We're looking for, what language is this covered in?
Se você me deixar, você vai levar também meu coração.
Kind of tricky, Dom. Kind of tricky.
Oh, meu bem, por favor, não vá.
All right, let's try Mike in Northeast Philly right out of the box. Come on, Mike. What's that language?
This is Marilyn, his wife, filling in for him. We're in the car. Is it Portuguese?
Whoa! Wait a minute, Marilyn. Are you originally from Lisbon or something? Do you know that Portugal's a peninsula? Do you know all that?
Yeah, right.
No, Marilyn, how did you know that?
Like I said, he knew it. He's driving, and we're in the car, so he just handed me the phone.
Oh, okay. Well, nice hint. Now, is he Portuguese?
No, he's not. He's Polish.
Is he
Oh,
learning
wait, he's Polish.
Hey,
Oh,
yeah, see,
God,
you know these
man.
Polish people are smart, I'm telling you.
There you go. Nicely played, Marilyn and Mike. All right, sounds like a dubious
Congrats,
thing
Mike.
to happen
Congrats,
here.
Marilyn.
All
Enjoy the
right,
concert.
enjoy the concert. That was pretty good.
I
yeah.
did not. I expected French to be said first.
Yeah, I was thinking the oldest country in Europe. Is Portugal actually the oldest country in Europe? Yeah. I hear good things about Portugal, and I know that Conservative Tours goes to Portugal. So
I just looked up oldest country in Europe. It says San Marino. But
yeah, it's a principality.
But this little fact sheet that I have did indeed say it. So this fact sheet is fake news, I guess.
There we go.
Or maybe they're all just arguing who's first because they want to. Oh, so it's the oldest nation state in Europe.
Okay. Wow, older than Spain? Yeah. At one point, Spain dominated the world.
This is why we need fact checkers on 1210. You know?
Yeah, that's right. We need the fact checker.
Just for the money melody.
Oh, already charges drop for 11 that were arrested during the riot there in front of Union Station in New York and the Capitol. And Democrats are saying, well, it's free speech. I wouldn't participate in burning a flag. Oh, sure you would. Come on now. Who are you kidding? But it's part of our rights in free speech. No, they were attacking outnumbered park police, etc. there. And I guess the vandalism is free speech. And I guess Hamas is about free speech. And Gays for Gaza were probably there. Benjamin Netanyahu, right? The feds are opening another investigation into the Union Station protest. Is Larry Krasner suddenly in Washington? What do you have to do? And the answer is anything you do is going to be found to be acceptable here. All right, 855-839-1210. You know, by happenstance, Concerned Women of America, over the years, you probably have heard of them. They are a huge group of women, I'd say conservative primarily, are going to be with us. And boy, the questions piling up. I mean, I think today, I want to play you what J.D. Vance said about his cat lady comment. Our buddy, Chris Tremalia, who I first met out at the University of Penn, deep conservative. He's an editor now at the Washington Examiner. I don't know if you knew that part. Has a column up saying Trump should dump J.D. Vance. And I'm seeing that more around the country.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think he will, but the polling post the convention is not good. And comments like this, even though taken out of context, have started, it's playing into their hands tactically is the problem here. The cat lady comment. Provocative. You make things provocative. I get it. But here he's on Megyn Kelly today, and he's making a good policy point that the Harris people now, at least in this context, are against the child tax break that parents get. They want more government programs to be involved than something like that. They don't like cutting taxes. Here's J.D. Vance with Megyn Kelly explaining what he meant by these cat lady Democrats and how the Democrat Party really is more anti-family every single day. Here's what he said.
I know the media wants to attack me and wants me to back down on this, Megyn, but the simple point that I made is that having children, becoming a father, becoming a mother, I really do think it changes your perspective in a pretty profound way. This is something, of course, we've recognized for hundreds of years in this country that human civilization has always recognized. But there's a deeper point here, Megyn. It's not a criticism of people who don't have children. I explicitly said in my remarks, despite the fact the media has lied about this, that this is not about criticizing people who, for various reasons, didn't have kids. This is about criticizing the Democratic Party for becoming anti-family and anti-child. We have to ask ourselves, Megyn, why do we have masking of toddlers years after the pandemic ended? Why do we have the Harris campaign coming out this very morning, Megyn, and saying that we should not have the child tax credit, which lowers tax rates for parents of young children? It's because they have become anti-family and anti-kid. And I'm proud to stand up for parents. And I hope that parents out there recognize that I'm a guy who wants to fight for you. I want to fight for your interests. I want to fight for your stake in the country. And that is what this is fundamentally about. The Democrats in the past 5-10 years, Megan, they have become anti-family. It's built into their policy. It's built into the way they talk about parents and children. And it's time that we called that out. I don't think we should back down from it, Megan. I think we should be honest about the problem.
All right, all in agreement. I just think the cat lady part of this, and that's what they're going to seize on, to his point. Now, it does look like the Harris people are opposing the child tax credit under the current form, going down that path. And the Democrat Party is the things that he said. I would add to it traditional family, et cetera. You know, they're going to argue they're for families, just not the type of families you want. And we go down this memory hole. Thing that both parties are doing, keep in mind the word weird. They're going after Vance, calling him weird. You know, they haven't said nerdy. Nerdy's too polite. They're saying weird. And Republicans somewhat have been trying to show how weird Harris is in a personal way. So both parties are into this arms race around weird, not somebody you'd have a beer with type of stuff. That's a little bit of where it's going. But do I think Trump is going to drop J.D. Vance? I don't think so. But I would tell you this, I think there's a possibility if it continues going this way. And Chris Tremalia, Dan, writing in the Washington Examiner, and look, this guy is a deep conservative. You know, that's how I met him there. It was a Candace Owens speech that was going on, and he was part of the people that brought her there. He thinks that J.D. Vance at this point, really, you can't argue where he adds anything. And what's happening, at least polling-wise early on, is not good. So could it happen? Yeah, it could happen, and there would be. Think about this. The Democrats wait till 14 million people have voted. They tag out, soft coup, Joe Biden, even though we all see their point. We saw it in the debate, and he can't win, but they did it. They tagged Kamala Harris in without any back and forth of anything, and they're acting as if she should be coronated. Oh, my God, we finally discovered this. But if Trump would tag out J.D. Vance, who would he put in, Dan? Who would you say? You know, I think
Byron Donalds.
Byron Donalds, yeah, I don't know the vetting, though. You know, if I had faith in how fully they vet it and all that, I mean, I love the guy. I love what he's about.
Also, just to be completely transparent on that, if you're complaining about J.D. Vance making cat lady comments, this is the same guy that got tied up in the comments recently with, what did he say?
Oh, he talked about Jim Crow era, how the black family was better and all. But I thought he did an effective job in pushing back on his feet.
I think he did.
Yeah, he's
really
tremendous.
Did.
And not only that, you're not going to push him around racially. So, yeah, I could see it. I don't want Doug Burgum, though. I don't even want to consider that. I mean, come on. How did we die? Yeah. And Rubio and Trump, I don't see that being a good marriage if they win. You'd have to get over the finish line. Does he move the needle with Latinos? And then we have to figure who's Harris going to tag in there. I'm not sure if Virginia is fully in play at this point. I'm looking at polling today, though. And this is a good news front for the Trump campaign. Rasmussen reports they've done more Harris-Trump polling than almost any pollster. No surprise to us. And it indicates that Trump is well ahead of Harris, 53-33, among independents only when you poll just independents. So Trump is held solidly here despite the giddiness over Vice President Harris. The issue will be, though, does this hold? They'll get a bump from the convention. Everybody does. Who does she choose as VP? I lost my either tomorrow or Monday. Coming to Pennsylvania, Dan, this is an all-star thing. It will be Kamala Harris, Josh Shapiro, and the big Gretch. So she's going to have Whitmer and Josh Shapiro with her. They don't tell us where, though. I got the wins, your credentials, your time, and all that, but I don't know where. Probably Philadelphia, I would guess. So we'll have full coverage. The big Gretch in Philadelphia.
Wow.
That's Gretchen Whitmer. Yeah.
You think the announcement will be made in Philly?
Well,
if it's going to be here in Philly, it's got to be Shapiro, right? You
yeah,
don't
yeah.
come to Pennsylvania and
Now,
tell, hey, look, we're going to go to Michigan.
You know, we talked about J.D. Vance's beard yesterday. Nobody killed me. They had a lot of fun with it. You know, us growing beards for Don Trump Jr.
Which you're going to do, right?
Yeah, I think we are. A little growth there.
Well, you said I already got it going on.
Well, we have the advantage. But I was going to make the point. Well, Kamala Harris, if she's there with Shapiro, wear heels. You'll see what I mean. And the big Gretch, I think, is pretty big. Will she wear heels? Or will there be a no heels policy?
How tall is Gretchen Whitmer?
She looks about 5'8", 5'7". Harris is about, what, 5'7", 5'8", something like that?
No,
and then with heels,
estimated to be between 5'8" and 5'10".
Oh, the big Gretch?
The big Gretch.
She does look big. And Harris got to be somewhere around there, Dan.
No.
You don't think so? She's 5'6" or 5'7".
5'4".
Oh, she is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Josh Shapiro, then, without heels, will be. Now, Ron DeSantis.
5'6", right?
Yeah. So watch for that. All right. You can say, oh, that's petty and all that, but.
Wow. If you Google Josh Shapiro height, it's no longer available.
I can see why.
Conspiracy.
All right. Coming up, we're going to talk with Penny Nance, Concerned Women of America. What does she think about all this? We'll take your calls. We'll get a winner today, 855-839-1210.
Weather sponsored by Morgan & Morgan.
Best weekend of the year. Very comfortable. Low humidity. Today it's going to be 86. We'll go up to 87 on Saturday. Get up to 90 on Sunday with some clouds moving back in. On Monday, it'll get a little more humid. We'll see possibly some afternoon showers.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Today, we're the largest injury firm in the world, and I'm thankful to you for trusting us all these years. We'll always be here for the people, not the powerful. Injured? The choice is easy. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Why are prices spiking in Pennsylvania? It's simple. It's inflation. And Senator Bob Casey's reckless spending caused the problem to grow. Casey joined Washington liberals in voting for trillions in reckless spending. All of Senator Casey's spending caused inflation to get out of control until disaster. Everything is too expensive, from gas to groceries. And Senator Casey helped create this mess. Worse, Casey voted to allow COVID relief checks for illegal immigrants and convicted criminals, even murderers. Senator Casey voted to allow more money for illegals, leaving less for us. Call Senator Casey at 202-224-6324. Tell him to put Pennsylvania families first and fix his inflation disaster. Support S575, the Fight Inflation Through Balanced Budgets Act, paid for by One Nation, onenationamerica.org.
Don't miss the Education Show with Dom Giordano every Sunday morning at 5:30. Find out how you can help your child or grandchild succeed. Sponsored by New Hope Academy.
Broadcasting live from the Cherry Hill Volvo Studios, where relationships matter. Talk Radio 1210, WPHT, and on the free Odyssey app.
All right, Tom time. Welcome in. Over the years, Concerned Women for America have been a huge group and force. I'm looking at their website, and over the years, they've said some iteration of this. They have 40 years of helping members across the country bring biblical principles into all levels of public policy. And right now, particularly women in this election, they contend that women are the huge force in this election. I'm sure the other side would say, you're right, Kamala Harris. Let's go to Penny Nance, who leads Concerned Women for America here on Talk Radio 1210. Penny, welcome back to Philadelphia. Thank you for joining us.
Great to be on with you, Dom. Thanks for having me.
Well, Penny, you're doing a tour, so tell us about the tour when it comes to our area, how people can find out about that.
Well, unfortunately, I just left the great Keystone State, and it was incredible. We were in Butler County with, a few hundred women. And it was really, I sensed something happening there, and I don't think Kamala Harris is going to like it. Frankly, women are sick of the status quo. The economy figures largely, no matter what they're being told by the green eye shade professionals in Washington, they know at the end of the month as they try to pay their bills, they have less money in their checking account than they did under former President Trump. They know that crime is out of control. They know that there's about 250,000 illegal immigrants living in the state of Pennsylvania. They know their children are being indoctrinated by leftists in school system with gender ideology. And they just got a front row seat to all the crazy when Bibi Netanyahu came to Congress a few days ago and talks about that 8 Americans are being held hostage. And they're not having it. I got to tell you, what I heard in the great state of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania was a lot of mama bears who were extremely upset.
Well, but don't you think Harris energizes the other side when it comes to abortion? And I would ask, how are you feeling with the Republican position vis-a President Trump, which is not, Penny, as determined to set 6-week bans as Ron DeSantis did? Trump has staked out a different position.
Well, listen, my position is life should be protected from conception to natural death, and that's certainly always been CWA's position. But understand, we still remember the fact that President Trump gave us 3 Supreme Court justices that overturned Roe v. Wade and gave us the actual opportunity to finally have the ability to impact the states. And so we've got to do a better job, and people have money, need to stroke checks, and we have to go into every single state and make our case. 24 weeks, viability is the limit there in Pennsylvania. And at 24 weeks, a fully formed baby is clearly living. I mean, most people may not agree with me that life begins at conception if we're really going to look at the data. But the vast majority of people, and particularly women, do not agree that abortion should be legal any number, any reason, at any limit, all paid for by the taxpayer, which is actually the position of the Harris campaign at this point. So, we need to continue to have this discussion about what America believes and what America thinks. But right now in Pennsylvania, the left have it their own way. I don't know what they're looking for, maybe until birth. I guess that's what they'd be pushing for next. Certainly, I'm more conservative on that issue, and women are really kind of split right down the middle. When you see the issue of abortion ranked in polling for women, it's not at the top. it surprisingly, it comes somewhere down, about halfway down the level, 5, 6 on that. And half of those women take my position. Half of those women are pro-life. So it cuts both ways. And honestly, the question is, how excited are they about the issue? I will tell you, I heard a lot of women very concerned about the fact that when Kamala Harris was AG, she specifically went after pregnancy care centers and tried to shut them down if they would not promote abortion. That case, it was called NIFLA versus Becerra, went all the way to the Supreme Court, pre-Trump Supreme Court, and was struck down because it was so radical. So they know in Pennsylvania that they need to get legal funds together for pregnancy care center. That's not pro-choice. That's pro-abortion. If you don't want there to be any other choice, any other alternatives, that's the position that the Harris campaign has taken on this.
All right, Penny, I wanted to ask you too, J.D. Vance, and we played in context. He was on with Megyn Kelly, kind of telling us what he meant about the cat lady situation and saying the Democrat Party now, as currently constituted, doesn't support child tax credits. What do you think of where Vance is headed with this?
Well, I'm sorry. I wish I had heard that. I don't know what you're specifically referring to. But there is an anti-natalist group within the Democratic Party. Let's just be honest. Concerned Women for America has always supported tax credits for children. We need to make sure that families have what they need. We support school choice. We need parents to be able, the money should follow the kid. And the parents should be able to decide what school works for my kid. That would take care of a lot of this. And give parents the ability to say, my kid should go to Jewish day school, or should go to Christian school, or should go to a public school in a different zip code. And if we really want to take care of inequity, that's where we start. Getting kids out of failing schools, giving them the ability to learn in an educational setting that fits their needs, and the state doesn't have the ability to determine that.
Exactly. Well, Penny, glad you were in Pennsylvania. Where do people go to your group to follow what you're doing?
Follow us at concernwomen.org, and then on all the socials, and also I'm on social media as well, PY Nance, on Instagram and everything else. And follow our bus tour. The Big Pink Bus is going around the country. We will end in Montana, which is a very important state for a Senate race, as of August 20th. But pray for us and follow us, and we're out there talking to women and speaking the truth to power.
Thank you, Penny. Penny Nance here on Talk Radio 1210, 855-839-1210, AT&T, and Verizon Wireless. All that you have to do is push pound 1210. We have the lightning round coming up, and then we'll make a determination on the winner for this week for a great prize. But J.D. Vance, with the attacks on him with Appalachia, Kentucky, and then the cat lady stuff, is really center ring. Harris drowning some of that out. But here's what Vance said. I want to play it one more time. What Vance said to Megyn Kelly today.
You want the whole clip or just the tax credit part?
Yeah, just the tax credit part.
Why do we have the Harris campaign coming out this very morning, Megyn, and saying that we should not have the child tax credit, which lowers tax rates for parents of young children? It's because they have become anti-family and anti-kid. And I'm proud to stand up for parents, and I hope that parents out there recognize that I'm a guy who wants to fight for you. I want to fight for your interests. I want to fight for your stake in the country, and that is what this is fundamentally about. The Democrats in the past 5-10 years, Megyn, they have become anti-family. It's built into their policy. It's built into the way they talk about parents and children, and it's time that we called that out. I don't think we should back down from it, Megyn. I think we should be honest about the problem.
All right, that coming off the cat lady comment and taken out of context, of course. All right, lightning round next. We'll get a winner. We'll tell you what's on the docket for Monday and next week here on Talk Radio 1210.
Do you have a property that you no longer want? Maybe you inherited the property. Maybe you're underwater in the property. Or maybe you're just a tired landlord, tired of dealing with tenants. Listen, I can buy those properties, and I'll buy those properties fast. I can close in 2 weeks. I buy properties cash. My name is Larry Steinhaus. Give me a call at 855-939-1137. That's 855-939-1137, and I will personally answer the call. You can also visit easyOutRealEstate.com. Hey, this is Larry Steinhaus from Investor Schooling. Did you know I have a radio show every Saturday from 1 to 3? It's called The Larry Steinhaus Show, and it's sponsored by Investor Schooling. On this show, you will learn things about finances and things about money that you never knew before. But even more of a reason to listen to this show is how much fun we have. If you haven't heard the banter between me, Omri, and Dr. Deb, you haven't heard the greatest show on earth. Listen to this show this Saturday at 1 o'clock right here on WPHT, and I promise you will learn something.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
Just hearing the word IRS can make people break out in a cold sweat. No one wants to deal with the IRS, and now you don't have to. The good news is Legal Tax Defense has been successfully negotiating with the IRS for more than 15 years. It doesn't matter how much you owe, whether it's $5,000 or $5 million. You deserve the best in the business on your side, and that is Legal Tax Defense. Even if you're working with someone else and just want a second opinion, there is no cost or obligation to call. They can prevent levies, liens, wage garnishments, even file back tax returns. And the best news about Legal Tax Defense is they won't take your case unless they know they will reduce or eliminate your tax debt. Call Legal Tax Defense right now for a free no-risk consultation. 800-246-0553. 800-246-0553. You have nothing to lose but everything to gain. 800-246-0553.
Philo's got a world of entertainment for you to explore with just one subscription. Sign up today and start watching all the networks you love, like A&E, MTV, Discovery, Lifetime, Hallmark Channel, and so much more. Featuring current seasons of all the best drama, true crime, reality, and family-friendly shows you can't afford to miss. And with up to 3 streams at once, you'll never have to fight about what to watch. Get started today and unlock our library of over 75,000 movies and shows, and save all your favorites with the unlimited DVR so you can rewatch them anytime, anywhere for up to a year. Philo now includes access to AMC Plus. You can discover your next obsession from its collection of hit originals like Mad Men, The Walking Dead, Killing Eve, Orphan Black, and tons of blockbuster movies. There are no contracts, no commitments, and no hassles. For just $28 a month, Philo's a better way to watch TV. So what are you waiting for? Visit philo.tv and sign up today to start your 7-day free trial. That's philo.tv.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
Be sure to follow Talk Radio 1210 WPHT on the free Odyssey app. Download it now.
The time has come for the final test.
We usually call it the lightning round.
All right, Dom Giordano Show. One thought to lead into the weekend. CNN cracking up at the alternate name of white women for Kamala, Karens for Kamala.
Oh, Oh, they're actually going with that?
Well, that's what they were saying on CNN. I don't know how that's going to play out that easy. Karen's for Kamala. I could see that. All right, 855-839-1210, lightning
Too
round.
truthful, guys. Too truthful.
Yeah, hit
Too
us
close
with
to
those
reality.
foods that seem to be not good to come together, but in fact they're very good. Drew in Upper Darby. Hey, Drew, what do you have today?
Hey, Dom, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Hey, real quick, Dom, I'm with you, though. I think Mike Schmidt is definitely the face of the Philadelphia Phillies. He's one of our own, and he played his whole career in Philly. With that said, though, Dom, my wife is a big fan of this plate, and I just think it's a waste of good meat. And when she puts applesauce on pork chops.
Pork chops and
I can't figure
applesauce.
that one out.
That's a standard.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I don't have a chop in that fight, but I can understand your wife.
You know, every night before bed, Dom, I open the fridge, go to a gallon of applesauce,
Yes.
and drink straight from the gallon.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
By the
I
way,
love
Dan, the
applesauce.
next call to me is the bacon all the time, trying to get into any answer.
Yeah.
Just saying. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the Budge Wire thing. It's always bacon. It's Jim in the
Budge Wire and
Northeast.
bacon.
Jim, what is yours?
Well, you know, you were talking about the Amish, and I had to be at the Amish market and was dared to eat something called bacon covered with chocolate.
Chocolate covered
bacon? It was actually delicious. It was very good.
Why'd you have to get dared into it? Are you not? Come on, you got to be adventurous. You got to. It's delicious.
It was great.
All right, thank you, Jim. That's what I'm dubbing the Budge Wire
what
answer
is this
today.
answer?
Oh,
Gary.
God, this is brutal. Gary in Newtown, make your case, Gary. What's yours?
Hey, Dom, real quick. The woman who called in earlier from Deptford,
Yes.
if she was any closer to me, I would have reached out to you and said, I would like to go stand next to the guy with the Hamas flag with the American flag and see if I could get others like me to join him.
That is a good way of dealing with it. You're exactly right. That is an excellent way of dealing with it.
Outflag 'em.
Outflag them.
I don't like this combination. I want to puke when I do it. But when my niece comes over, she has vanilla ice cream with ketchup.
What?
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Thank you, Gary. Have a nice weekend.
Oh, no.
All right, let's sort out a winner if we can out of this.
We had salt on an apple. Flaming hot Cheetos with marshmallow turned into Rice Krispie treats, essentially. Pork chops, applesauce, chocolate-covered bacon. But that last answer, man, the vanilla ice cream with ketchup might be the winner.
Yeah, but is that good? Well,
the niece likes it, but that's a child, so you can't really go to a child's palate.
That's
It's
why
not
I'm
good,
saying,
right?
yeah, he was saying it as a negative here.
I
He didn't have personal.
You
yeah.
wouldn't think it's good, but pork chops with applesauce, man. I have a little
Okay.
bias towards applesauce.
Okay, all right, let's go with that one. With Drew of Upper Darby, put him into the hat. Let's get a winner. By the way, the prize today, Dan, are tickets to the Chicago with Earth, Wind, and Fire on July 31st, 2024 at Freedom Mortgage Pavilion in Camden, New Jersey. For tickets, visit Ticketmaster.com. Pair of tickets.
Monday, we asked what's something or who's somebody great from Pennsylvania. Ray in Doylestown called it with a little factoid that the first ever oil well was in Pennsylvania. Tuesday, a gorgeous grandma day. Who's somebody who aged gracefully? Joe in Columbus, New Jersey. Dick Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Wednesday, Mount Rushmore of all-time significant women. Bo in Levittown called in with Cleopatra and said that she was, quote, hot. I don't know where that came from. Thursday, what's a technology that proves that we're living in the future? Pat in Lehigh Valley, robot umpires. And Friday, Dom, you just heard of what's an underrated but still weird food combination. Drew in Upper Darby, pork chops and applesauce. Using the dice that Earl gave me, you'll hear it roll here. I got a 6 first, so that doesn't work. There's no six weekday. Number 5, I got Friday's winner 5. Drew in Upper Darby, pork chops and applesauce gets those tickets to Chicago and Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Right. Big prize today. All right, so I'm headed to the shore, but I'll be on from our great friends at the Wildwood Tourism, Dan. I may have to take up the case again. Come on, guys, put Dom Giordano Day. Not that I'm holding a grudge on your calendar. I know there are rules and all. How about a marquee outside at least? Dom Giordano Day next year will be. But we got a big event coming up. I know it seems a lot away, but get your tickets now. Don Trump Jr. coming to the Scottish Rite Auditorium. Fabulous spot, to put it mildly. September 12th, after the debate, if there is a debate, we'll have a lot to talk. We may have to go the Beard way a little bit. I don't know what a concession I have to do for this job.
You got to do it.
go to 1210WPHT.com, 1210WPHT.com. Get your tickets there. So, Dan, what's on tap for the weekend for you?
Well, next up, I'm going to listen to Mary Walter. We were just talking about the Mount Rushmore of significant women, and next up we got Mary Walter, which I'm excited for. One of my favorites in the industry.
And you worked originally, I believe she calls you Pool Boy.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Pool Boy. Yeah, we were down at the shore working
down
on
the shore.
Yeah, stationed down there, and did like a Delilah type lifestyle show, and it was a lot of fun together.
It. Yeah.
But Dom, my mom's in town, so there's that. Sister's in town, there's that. The nephew's here. Tonight, I think we're going to go to an arcade with him and then watch some wrestling with the little guy.
Oh, of course. That's a great way to enhance his horizons.
Yeah,
wrestling.
Right? Yeah.
Yes. Well, DJ wants to go to WWE when they're, I keep on saying F, but they, when they're in town in October. So maybe that will be happening. Yeah. So we'll see how it plays out.
Field trip for the show?
Well, we want to get tickets. And Jim, just a parting question is Howard Stern was mentioned today as somebody that would take your breath away to Dan the first time he saw him. Any reaction to that?
Look here, I think I will take your breath away because when I do radio, it's the greatest thing ever. But I see that Rich Zioli, is he taking a page out of my playbook? Is he stealing my bit? Because every Friday it seems like he's off, Robin. I just don't get it, Robin. I mean, he's off every Friday. He's stealing that from me.
Let's not start this on a weekend. Rich Zioli's not taking off every Friday. He's working to the grindstone here. Mark Levin will tell you that.
That's right, my friend, Mark Levin. And, Rich Zioli will be filling in for me maybe at some point. But do yourself a favor. Get your Don Trump Jr. tickets. It's going to be a great event.
Thank you. 1210WPHT.com. Have a great weekend, everyone. Back with you on Monday from the Jersey Shore with a couple of special guests. And Tuesday also. A lot happening here. Mary's next. Sitting in for Rich on Talk Radio 1210 WPHT.
According to a study conducted by Atticus Law Firm, 40% of retirees were forced back into the workforce because they received a deceptive sales pitch from their broker. But there is one way to ensure that you don't become part of that statistic.
Tony Gambone and Denise Gambone, Royersford, Pennsylvania.
I know people that had to go back to work because they got bad investment advice from brokers. By recording our sessions, Crash Proof Retirement proves they're willing to put their money where their mouth is.
The recordings used by Crash Proof Retirement, it's just a natural extension of how Crash Proof is legally bound to do right for the consumer.